Ready? Play.
Oh, so we're live. like 20 seconds after we are put live by our producer, who even from Monastir at 6:13 a.m. is able to wake up in time and give us the opportunity to talk here about Ben Shelton and Marcos Giron. I am at 7 a.m. and I'm also here. Yesterday we chatted with Vansh about the match between Shelton and Paul, and today we're going to see another Ben Shelton match.
Yeah, my poor European friends having to wake up really early to talk tennis while I stay here at 10:15 p.m.
Most of the year, you're the one who has more issues with that, so
Yes,
I
yes,
think
you're right
we're
about
gonna
that.
be okay.
Yeah, but this match is the first semifinal, of course, and normally I would say it's not one match. It's not a match that I would circle and be like, oh, this is the one that we should definitely do. It has amazing match written all over it. But I think this one is more appealing just given how well Giron is playing this week, um, taking out Rude and Felix, and also just looking in quite good form, playing some of his best tennis. As he held very comfortably.
Yeah, Giron is really a bit of a phenomenon for me. Never would have thought that this guy would be such a staple on the ATP tour, And like the past 3 years, he's constantly getting wins. On paper, you wouldn't really expect him to get, and
Yeah,
yeah, just surviving. Some theoretically more, well, what is talent, but like some theoretically more talented players have struggled to survive on the ATP tour, have fallen off a cliff, and Marcos Giron is still there, and he's getting rounds like that every year, eventually amassing enough points to keep himself in the top 100, keep himself in the slams, and yeah, it's a wonderful effort, really.
it is. Yeah, I remember seeing him break out and make the third round at Indian Wells. Was it in 2019? Yeah, he definitely made the third round. He played Raonic really tight in Indian Wells, and that's when I thought, oh, okay, he can be a top 100 player, but his consistency has been actually pretty solid. I mean, I look at his year-end ranking; he's been top 75 the last 3 years. Uh, he's seems like this year he's gonna be ranked. He might hit a career high this year, right?
Yeah, because of this round, basically.
Yeah.
That's 180 points, right, coming his way. That's basically like winning two fairly big challengers. So that's how Mochizuki managed to earn like almost 100 ranking spots, I think, this week already. Of course, lots more to gain for the Japanese if he can beat Karatsev.
Mm. Yeah, a couple top 10 wins, of course, this year, beating Runa in Canada in 3 sets, and then beating Rude quite comfortably this week.
The match I always sort of think of, and I think about Giron, is his final at the end of 2019 against Karlovic in Houston, because he was like 120 in the rankings or something like that. I mean, he basically couldn't be sure that he was going to, well, that was his last event. I think maybe there was one more week in the calendar or something, but basically that was when his Australian Open major spot was to be decided, and he manages to win that event, and he wins again from 1-6 down in the final, in the 1-6 down in the third set tiebreak against Ivo Karlovic. So
Oh,
Ivo
right. Yeah,
Karlovic
he won that,
gets it.
he
Yeah,
won that match like 11-9, I think, in the third set tie.
yeah. Karlovic gets a chance to like maybe serve on two of these points, I think.
Mm.
So that was just a ridiculous comeback. Definitely hurt me a lot as an Ivo Karlovic fan, and
Yeah.
yeah. I, I, I didn't start hating Marcos Giron then. I
Mm.
definitely don't, but yeah, it was just one of the most painful experiences of my Ivo Karlovic fandom for sure.
What was the peak of your Karlovic fandom?
Um, hmm, maybe like the 2016 campaign when he was in the final at Washington, his only
Yes.
500 final, and
But
another very
he served for that match, did he not, against Monfils?
yes, another very painful
Oh,
experience as a
okay.
Karlovic fan. But that summer, generally speaking, he was like in the final of anything he played, but outside of Wimbledon, basically.
Mm,
Wimbledon, he also disappointed that year. I think maybe lost to Lachko in the second round, although I
yeah.
might be wrong about that. And yeah, then Washington, that was probably the best tennis he ever played. But in
Mm,
terms of ground game, and also in Toronto, he just a moment later beat Cilic. That was a fantastic match. When he beat Djokovic, of course, in Doha 2015, that was huge.
yeah.
But I guess yeah, the summer of 2016, that was some of the strongest level that I've ever seen from him, and
Yeah.
probably the peak for me. Although that year he also disappointed at the Davis Cup finals by losing to Delbonis in the dead rubber. Well, Delbonis probably played like the match of his life, especially considering it was indoors.
He played all the victory quite tough in 2015 because he beat
Roger in Halle, right?
Federer and Hala. There was also the match he played against Bardic where he had like 40 aces. Or,
Yeah, 45. That's still the record for most in a free setter. Um,
but then he played Roger quite tight too, and then he had chances to beat Rafa in Shanghai, and then Rafa hit
oh, that's
those.
also 15.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He hit
yeah,
those.
four returns.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He actually never beat Rafa, although there were a couple of tough
Mm,
matches. Indian Wells and Shanghai, and
yeah.
Federer he has one win against, and of course 3-1 against Djokovic. That's the one that we can
Is it three
remember.
one or 2-1?
It is 3-1. It is 3-1.
Oh, okay. It was
The
qualifying.
ATP is not gonna tell you that in 2005 he beat him in qualifying for the ATP 1000 in Madrid, and
Ah,
this
he
is
also
not
beat him in
mentioned.
the third in 2008, but that was in the main.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
yes, and the qualifying for the ATP 1000 in Madrid is not even mentioned um on the sorry, was it Madrid? It was no, it was sorry, Madrid. It was where he beat him in 2008.
Yeah.
In 2005 they played in the qualifying for the Australian Open, I think. Let me check. Let me check where,
No,
but
that
it was
it can't be Australia because Novak played in the main draw there.
no. So where did he beat him in 2005? Let me check that.
I never knew this actually. I'm going to look it up now too.
Um, because it's not on the head to head, in Madrid. No, I was right the first time, but then got confused when I saw that they also played in 2008. So yeah, it was also Madrid. Yeah, qualifying for 2005 Madrid, first round, and this match is not even on their head to head website on the ATP
Hmm. What was the
site.
score?
So 6-4, 6-4.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so
2005.
that's absolute BS. That it's not even there. It's you know what I confused it with? Wawrinka Djokovic, because they have a match from Australia which isn't also shown there. Um,
Hmm.
Maybe 2004 or something like that.
Okay. Interesting. I'm learning something new.
Let me check that.
I knew that
Uh,
Federer beat him once, and that was in the Rome 2006 province.
Or maybe what was I thinking of? Let me see, because there's a match between Djokovic and Wawrinka that isn't included as well, I believe. But it's just awful for them to have this. But it's still better than the WTA, who apparently erase player records once they are inactive.
Oh,
I saw screenshots from the website. Um, Oh yeah, 2005 Australian Open, Djokovic Wawrinka. Yeah, that's a match that's also not included in their head-to-head. But of course you're right. Djokovic won that one. Yeah, not Wawrinka. But yeah, that's also a match that's not included in the ATP head-to-head for whatever reason. Not in the other matches section even. I mean, And yeah, the WTA, I saw a screenshot from their website where Naomi Osaka's matches have basically been removed. So, for example, you have a run from Paula Badosa, I think it was, somewhere, and then there are just 2 matches on her way to the semis because the one against Osaka is not there. So they have a huge mess there.
What year is that?
I don't know. I mean, I can try to find the screenshot, but maybe it wasn't even Paula Badosa, you know. Maybe it was someone else, but certainly, yeah, I've seen screenshots regarding that.
Hmm.
And that it's impossible to find Serena Williams when you try to search for a player, for example.
Oh wow, that is a huge
Yeah.
error. I mean, you gotta have. Is it really that bad? I don't. I thought I could find inactive players. Really?
I
Okay.
don't know. That's screenshots that I've seen on Twitter. It could be wrong, but it might
Yeah.
also be right.
And
I don't
goodness, we
know.
have players abstract. Even that's not perfect, but
Yeah, there's no Serena Williams. When you type into the search engine, you type in Serena Williams, you will get Venus Williams and Serena Pereira Giubbani.
oh my goodness.
Because I think they basically remove it once someone is inactive. And when you type in Naomi Osaka, you get Naomi Jackson, which is
So,
ridiculous. I'm assuming they still have the profile. So like if you, well, actually, even if you type into Google Naomi Osaka WTA, there's no search result.
hmm,
What the hell is that? I mean, that's ridiculous. Um, I guess I can find the link on the. Yeah, when I find the link for like another link for the Osaka WTA profile, it's not working. There's no profile. Well, that's a ridiculous organization, really. Marcos Giron, in the meantime, I mean, playing the tennis of his life,
yeah.
inside out, backhand winner.
Actually, interesting that you mentioned Naomi Osaka because Osaka's former hitting partner is Giron's coach,
Nice. That's
Caruso.
and Carousel is also in the final of 15K this week, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. In
Okay.
Morelia, in Mexico.
I thought he is not playing on the tour right now.
Well, he played just. I think this is his second pro event this year.
He's still giving it a go. Interesting. I mean, he is about the same age as Marcos, if not a year
Yeah.
younger. So,
Yeah, I think at the same age. He just hasn't had his birthday yet. But yeah, basically in September he played one. He made the quarters out of qualies, lost to Gautier, so very normal run, and now he also made the final in the second event. Honestly, a pretty weak field in Morelia, but well, the last opponent at least is fairly decent. We'll see how he does against him, but so he's probably not with Marcos Giron in Tokyo. That's gonna be my assumption.
you said he's playing a 15K? So is that in Morelia or in Mexico? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yes. Oh, actually, interesting. Wow, he beat Elijah Strode in the semis.
yeah.
Elijah Strode. Yeah, Elijah is a friend of mine. I've hit with him a bunch. He is quite a strong lefty. Got a big serve.
Anything to do with Isaiah Strode or
Yes, yes, they're related. They're brothers.
no?
I knew their
I
father
know.
really, really well.
Hmm.
I hit with him. I even took a coaching lesson with him once. Unfortunately, their father passed away a couple of years ago. He
Hmm.
was not very healthy at that point. He was really suffering. Um, so yeah, but I always knew that Elijah was going to be pro. I knew about Isaiah as well.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that Cell was such a big favorite yesterday. I didn't know Elijah Strode, but like just looking at the wins he got this week. But well, he ended up winning. Isaiah Strode, I do remember. He actually played Eving Wu last year, I think.
Yeah.
Uh, but but Elijah was it was the first time I saw his name, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Isaiah Strode was the first main draw rival for Eving Wu when he came back last year.
Yeah, I think
It
he was
looks
in the top 800 at some point.
Isaiah, yeah,
Him, and then also, I mean, Alafia. I mean, Alafia got to like top 400 at one point, somewhere around then. What is Alafia's career high? It's like around 400. I know for sure.
that's another sick forehand winner from Shelton, and actually could have been a pretty important moment if he didn't land
Kind of,
it.
yeah, there you go.
Could have been love 30 down, and he's gonna be 15-30 down. Not handling that short return from Giron too well. But yeah, I have to tweet later about that ATP United Cup thing that she told me. That's
Is it 1540? Oh, no, it's 15 off. Why is my
well,
screen so far behind?
yeah, I was a bit behind on my other stream. Looks like on this one I'm in front, so I'm gonna
Yeah, it is just
juggle.
15:30 right now. So for me, he just missed for him doing that
Yeah, that's
approach.
quite far behind. I actually thought it would be closer based on my other stream, because on my other stream I am now seeing the ball clip the net, well hit the net more so.
He might be ahead of tennis TV,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this stream I have is very
and
quick.
it is not 15:40. It is 30 off. So something is
It's
up.
it's usually ahead of like flash score or whatever, so it
Shelton
is
is
very quick. I think I'm gonna change to the previous one though. Be a little bit behind you, just a tad.
mhm. So far, we don't have any comments in the chat because I assume
No, you don't.
I'm just moving into this. Seems like the crowds are picking up this week in Tokyo right now. The final last 2 days.
Everyone wants to see Mochizuki.
Yeah, he's been quite an awesome story, honestly. One of the stories of the year. Shelton does hold, gets out of the 15:30 jam. So, but the question is, can he break Giron's serve? Because Giron is serving way better than I've ever seen him this week. Actually, Giron did get to a final last year. Of course, he lost to Brandon Nakashima in the San Diego final.
Yeah, you would know that. You would know that. I definitely forgot about it until like a
Because
week ago.
I was fully expecting Evans to get to the final. And that's what I thought it was
Yeah,
going to be Evans Nakashima final.
Connell was maybe in the semis as well, right?
Yes, yes. Connell, yeah, he was because he beat Brooksby, and so I was hoping to see a Brooksby Nakashima and continue their rivalry from the juniors. They played each other so many times in juniors. Usually Brooksby always had the edge in that matchup, but
And look where they are now, a year later.
I know. Yeah.
Marcos Giron, I mean, what the hell is he doing? He's just really playing out of his mind so far.
He's hitting his forehand so big also, and he's got like he's following
Yeah.
it up. So he's playing like legit aggressive offensive tennis.
Yeah, it's got a pretty clean game. Like, there's just nothing exceptional about it, really.
Yeah.
But
But I
he can
feel
do
like
it all.
this week he's like punching above his weight, like quite
Yeah,
more
absolutely.
than usual. Like that's
And that's Marcos Giron for you. I mean, he's gonna be sometimes even a little woeful on the ATP tour for like 2 months, and then he produces a win, a run that you never expected, and yeah, keeps himself there.
but there we see Ben Shelton using that down the line forehand that we were talking about yesterday against Paul, and just hooking it uh, on the outside of the ball. And as Giron was camped on the outside, and Shelton able to scoop it up.
Yeah, Giron maybe overcommitted to one of these inside out forehands.
Yep, that's
Certainly did, and Ben very quick with the punish.
yeah.
But he has forced Shelton to like be very steady so far.
Mm-hmm.
Just really forced him to play again quite intelligently. So that's
Yeah.
already a thing.
Ben doing well to hang in this rally in defensive positions, hooking the forehand on the defense, using the backhand slice, trying to get back to neutral. Giron is having to hit some shots in this fight. Can he finish at the net though? And he does. Wow, what a point for Marcos Giron.
Hmm.
15-30. Really being forced to accelerate on several forehands. And finally he comes in on the right ball. And it looked like he almost made a mess of the volley, but then quickly adjusted his grip
Yeah.
time. So yeah,
Marcos Giron playing like I don't even know who to compare it to, but like he's spreading the court so well with the forehand and blasts
yeah,
the backhand when he can, goes to the net. Yeah, just super confident. Maybe we can get a Giron Mochizuki final in Tokyo. That would be quite something.
yeah. Although yeah, Ben doing some good work there defensively to get himself back in that rally, using the slice pretty well, forcing Giron to come up with the goods, and he's got himself a
And
break point.
so far he has, but in this rally apparently not. I'm just
Yes,
seeing it there. Yeah, down the line forehand missed. So that would be the first break point we have, right?
first break point of the match, and it will be a second serve.
By the way, that would be a third straight top 20 win for Giron if he's going to win today.
Yes.
That's pretty sick too.
Mm.
No chance
Second
for a fourth though, since neither Mochizuki nor
serve, but
Karatsev
then
are.
overcommitting on trying to make that a forehand on the return as much as possible. He dances around it, but he just got caught a little
Yeah.
bit.
He made a few steps and yet still um, didn't put himself in the right position. Still was playing for a little, like with his hand, well, with his arm next to the body.
Oh, and again with the down line forehand from Ben, and now he's got himself a forehand approach. He goes cross court and he finishes it with the overhead. Did well to get the first serve back in play. I think the return really neutralized Giron's first serve quite effectively.
Yeah, it's like a doubles lob return basically,
Yeah.
and it
By the
did
way,
work.
I think playing doubles is really helping Ben quite a lot. Just his IQ in general, his court sense. I think you can make a case that playing doubles early on in your career, committing to it. I mean, we're seeing it a little bit with Leila Fernandez on the women's side, who's now on an 8 match win streak, and she's been playing doubles with Taylor Townsend, and it's pretty good. And he gets himself the break with Giron double faulting. So Ben looking to be really aggressive on that second serve and hug the baseline. He actually almost went in and tried to do a saber on that second serve, but didn't have to get the return back in play. So He breaks. And actually, for the first time this week, Marcos is not leading in the score. So I could be wrong about that, actually. Yeah, I think so. I mean, he hasn't dropped a set this week, as Giron. I know he beat someone really good in 2020. I want to say, was it Schwartzman? Was it Berrettini? It was one of those. I think Berrettini in the Paris Masters back in 2020.
Back in 2020, yeah, I was actually just checking like what are some of his best wins. Obviously, that wouldn't really be up there because he has that one against Holger and also the one against Casper here.
Yeah,
But yeah, Berrettini, yeah, top 10 as well in 2020, right? And
yeah.
also, yeah, basically that he has three top 10 wins. Yeah, two of them this year, but the one against Holger, it's
Mm. Yeah, we
in
now
this
know that.
stretch. Yeah, in this stretch, it's not that amazing, but still.
Yeah.
Two over Diego Schwartzman, one on clay. That's a
Yeah,
legendary match as well. Yeah, he actually has two clay court wins, clay court top 20 wins, but well, the other one is against Dimitrov and it was a retirement as well. So,
actually, I watched Giron and Schwartzman play this year in Cincy in the qualies. In
so that
this
must
year,
be Diego winning, right? He
yes,
qualified there,
no one, yes, with
beat
4-4,
Vukic, beat Vukic in the final round, I think.
correct.
So what a rivalry by now, Giron Schwartzman.
Yeah, it is Giron who's actually being forced to press a little bit more, and Shelton remaining a lot more solid. And paying off for Ben being more patient. I also think he's a little bit more comfortable with his string and his equipment at this point in the season, and just getting used to the ball of the ATP Tour and the speeds better. Definitely feels like he's more seasoned, even though this is just his first year on tour. So I think I read a quote. I think I want to say during the U.S. Open from his dad Brian, where he
Hmm.
said that ever since Ben changed his string, he can't miss a forehand anymore. I want to say it was something. There was something about his strings. See if I can find it.
It's good that he didn't say that about a backhand because he's just missed one.
Yeah. Although I feel like he's gotten a
Maybe.
lot
I mean,
better. Yeah,
the
like
the,
with
the down. I mean, the consistency on this down the line for loopy forehand, like Rafa style, has been pretty
yeah,
awesome. So maybe there is something to it. Brian Shelton obviously knows his tennis. A former world number 55 and head coach
yes.
for the Gators.
That is the difference between him being, the father in that father-son relationship versus some of the other parent.
I mean, maybe in time this also breaks down. Who knows? I mean,
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely don't think it's sustainable maybe for the whole career, but it definitely feels like for the short
well,
term, it's
it could in a two coaches sort of deal where
yeah,
someone joins in and they coach in together.
maybe
Why
something
not?
like what golf has right now, where like the dad still is involved. He still does the scouting. He still is very much advising and like still there, but kind of stepped back a little bit enough for the other coaches to do the work. So I think that is a good approach. But obviously, everyone is kind of different. I don't think I can really generalize it because
Oh, I thought
hmm,
this return was in. That would have been a pretty sick one, but
Giron with
yeah.
counter attack. of the slice.
Yeah, funny shot. Shot and just leaning really right and trying to catch the
I think everyone's beating Runa these days. I think even Becker could beat him right now. From
Ben,
John.
Boris Becker. Maybe Benjamin Becker could beat him, but
Mm,
Boris, I don't know. Depends on what. Like maybe in terms of like playing cards, I think Becker could beat him. He probably did that a lot in prison. But in terms of tennis, maybe if he would dive for some volleys, you know.
yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of dive, he's not going to be there with them at Wimbledon probably because of the rules on that.
Yeah, I have this friend of mine who keeps saying that he would beat this Polish youngster Gabriel Matuszewski. He basically says that the guy is so awful that he would beat him. And I keep telling him no, it's impossible. I guess that's how the Servi, that
Yeah,
71%. I
that's
mean,
how like most ignorant Americans think when it
yeah, he,
comes to
he
tennis.
actually doesn't think he was gonna beat him, but like that he was gonna win a game against him. But I'm like, no, the guy has had 10 years of professional training. There's no way. At least in terms of Rune and Becker, they have the same training experience. They have the same. Well, actually, Boris has a lot more experience on the tour. So anyway, and then now we're gonna have a break point, right?
Yeah, but he
Another
saved for the
sliced block return that Shelton didn't handle
he
on
saved
the
it in
forehand
ace.
approach shot.
His favorite serve this week, the white serve on the outside, and I think in general,
Yeah,
it's his favorite go-to, especially
probably.
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe actually
he
he
does
gets
get some sick angles there, and
yeah,
being a lefty, of course, generally helps in that direction.
yes, yep, does well to on that backhand. Really injected pace hard when cross court. Giron hits a bit down the line, but Shelton again, doing a good job just looping the forehand cross court with some shape and forcing Giron to hit the backhand on the run, and he just misses it long. So game point. And this time he goes wide. He goes down the tee, and Shelton was. I mean, Giron was expecting the one out wide, clearly from his footwork, but it's Shelton. This is the best part about being a lefty, honestly. Serving on the outside,
Yeah,
having
absolutely.
that
Like I was just thinking about that. Yeah,
it's just because
everyone has to be like sort of two
you
steps
you
towards
have to
their
cover the alley. I mean, that's what you're
the
told to
left.
do.
Yeah,
Like you just have to cover the right one. So it's
yeah. And of course, these are the more important points, generally speaking. I don't know. I don't know the stats for it, but like 75% of your break, well, maybe even more, right? Of the break points you have to save are going to be on the outside. So it's
mhm.
only really, it only comes up when you are 1540 or low 40 down. But even if you're low 40 down, you're still only going to have to save one break point on the deuce side. So, um, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the stat, but like the a large number of breakpoints are gonna be saved on the outside. I would assume maybe like 75, 80% even.
Yeah, of course.
Anytime there's a deuce and anytime you only have to save one, you're always gonna be saving it on the outside.
Oh wow, it really looks like Shelton is on the ascendancy when it comes to these baseline patterns right now. Um,
Yeah, and it's a bit of a shame because it's kind of taken the excitement out of this first set. Although we just had a break point, and I mean Shelton
yeah,
had to hit an ace, but like yeah, he's just been playing so steady so far, and
yeah.
there's
Just
not
five
that
up
much that Giron
this,
can do in this case, you know.
yeah.
But
Five
but
up
that's not. Yeah, that didn't have to happen. Like Shelton a month ago would not be controlling this match.
No, I mean I remember when they played in Delray Beach and it was just Shelton was spraying balls all over the place. And
Oh right, he played Giron. I forgot about that. Yeah, 4-6 or something like that. Yeah, it wasn't pretty awful much.
I
So
mean, it's
I
just
guess
night and day. Like you watch Shelton then and now, and it's
yeah, and I guess that even more strongly, underlines what I just said, that like a couple of months ago, Shelton would not be controlling this match, and he would be having a lot more issue just keeping up with Giron off the ground. Right now, he is, well, not cruising yet. If he wins the next point, he might be, but he's not gonna do that. I was talking about the 30 all, by the way, not about the fourth point of the game. No, I haven't seen the fifth one yet. No, no. I'm watching on the stream that's a little behind you now.
just missed the lob, but it was a good play. Had some options there. You can either go cross court with a short angle or go for the lob, which Ben hits that shot pretty well. So he has good feel in general.
Ooh, yeah,
Mm.
that was it's really good. Almost made it, but I think we can still command the effort. Like the short slice was pretty sick with a lot of side spin and then lob. He has been using that quite a lot as well, right? The short slice this week.
Yes, the short slice is huge for him, especially the one down the line, and just pattern change a little bit. And, then
Yeah,
get the
and
forehand play, and it's
he missed the lob, but it was the correct play. And Giron gets the game anyway, so
hmm we've
he's gonna
seen
have to
Rafa
serve it
obviously
out.
do that successfully to Djokovic in points in their rivalry, and it's helped him get forehands and go down the line more often. Obviously, it's a much more high-profile example, and you know,
Yeah.
probably the most famous one. But
Yeah, but it works. I mean,
we've also
probably the
seen
most famous is probably Federer with the short slice, I would think. But yeah,
yes, but it's a
it's a
little different fabric to those rallies, I would say, because of the riding.
yeah.
But yes, when Federer was using the short slice, for example, very, very effectively in the Wimbledon final. I mean, just didn't win the last point, but tactically it was like a perfect match.
Maybe his best shot, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
over the course of his career.
oh, it's
Um,
huge. I mean, the way it was just,
Honestly, like
like
it might be the most important shot in his arsenal, which might sound weird, but
but I mean, this is why I always say I think he has the best one-handed backhand because I think it's not just brute power from the back of the
hmm
court. There are
yeah.
obviously Stan and Gasquet and team. I mean, they have way,
If
way
you
more
don't
power.
have to play Nadal, then maybe.
Yeah, but I just think that block return, the
No,
improvisation,
no, the
the half
versatility
guard,
is definitely a thing. Yeah,
especially how good he was against big servers, the way he could just stand on that
yeah.
base, that goalie style of returning and just get so many returns back in play. I think it's
Better first serve returner than a second
yeah,
serve returner for sure.
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, his second serve return got better. I think later on in his career when he realized, okay, I gotta take the backhand earlier and higher on the shoulder, and I can actually dominate right from the get go, especially when he didn't wasn't as quick as he used to be. But no, it really hurt him against Rafa. I would say the second serve return, big time. Could still get away with it, I think, off of play at times, but mm, mm. I think we just need to see a match between those two at the US Open when they're both retired. Just play an exhibition match. Give us that one match we didn't get to see.
Hmm. Yeah, that would actually be a pretty nice idea for sure.
Do it for
Maybe
the
they would be
foundation.
receptive to it. Who knows?
Play the match for Africa in Flushing Meadows.
Yeah, I actually am surprised that well, maybe they did come up with this idea, and maybe for some reason they didn't. But well, maybe there hasn't been enough time because when they
I
were
can't
still
imagine that
playing
Shane Dudley
professionally,
doesn't have that.
Maybe when Rafa is not playing professionally anymore, because when they were still both active, then there was always the chance that they would actually meet at the US
Yeah.
Open. So why would they host a meeting at the US Open if it can just happen manually, sort of? Yeah.
Mhm.
Of course, the main chance, I guess, was Tommy Robredo in 2013, but that wouldn't have been a competitive
That would
match.
not
So
have been that would not have been a good quarterfinal. Like even if
yeah,
like it was just and I think
although
even, yeah,
in Cincinnati that year, that was probably the best
yeah,
Federer Nadal match that year.
yes.
Although, yeah, of course, 2013, well, probably one of the best year of Rafa's career, maybe, and probably
Mm.
the worst of Federer since he came to the top. So,
It
yeah,
hurt
and
Rafa. I mean, it hurt Fed for sure that he didn't play Rafa in 15 a bunch. Like I mean, he played him in Basel, but I think they were like one match away so many times in 15, and it just never happened because Rafa never got there.
yeah.
I think to like
Whereas in 2013 they played like what, 5 times or
four, yeah, four. But
yeah.
but I think it was only really like yeah, they played four times, and it was
Rome was not a match. Cincinnati was great. ATP Finals was okay, I guess. And what
yeah.
else is?
Indian
Am I
Wells was also
forgetting?
not a match.
What am
Indian
I
Wells,
forgetting? The fourth
you're
one?
forgetting
Ah,
Indian
Indian
Wells.
Wells. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Well, that's
That
when he
was
actually hurt his back against Stan the round before.
yeah. That was very similar to the 2012 match, but in the other way.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. 2012 was so weird because I mean they had they had the rain delay at match point, and then and then
Yeah.
there was all
Two
this.
breakpoints for Marcos Giron, by the way.
Oh,
So
okay, yes, I gotta pay attention. I got sidetracked with Federer and Nadal.
that's what the commentators on TV always do.
Yeah.
But at least we had a reason to talk about it, sort of.
Yes, yes, we did.
Sort of. I
One of
mean,
them.
it
I mean, I
wasn't.
think Ben has been so good in terms of saving breakpoints this week. You need to check what his stats are, but I mean, yesterday he was 6 for 7. I think breakpoint save.
Mm,
And this
yeah,
week,
yeah, yeah. Just this one when he was serving for the first set.
yeah, let's see.
Giron is challenging the call, but I don't think he's right. Yeah, it's not even close to being out. Yeah.
Not the challenge. Oh, but what a return of the first serve for Giron. Cross court forehand return. Now the reaction of someone in the crowd. You just see his face. It was like, yeah, that was quite a big point. Uh,
Yeah, I've just seen that. And that's
yeah, I mean, no,
sometimes you just put your racket against the ball and magic
yeah,
comes out of it. And yeah,
yeah,
Marcos Giron
it was a
again.
206 on the serve, okay, and it was. I know it wasn't perfectly placed, but you'd expect Ben to get the 3 point there. So I would say full
It
props.
wasn't perfectly placed, but at the same time, it was like a
Yeah, it was,
little
it
to
was
the
206.
body.
I mean, it
Like,
was not an easy
yeah.
one every time. So I think 9 times out of 10 he'll get the 3 point there, or at least he won't hit a clean return winner off of a serve like
Yeah.
that. So that was
And again, Marcos Giron is up, exceeding the expectations. We thought the set
yeah.
was done. He says it's not, and
By
that's
the
what
way,
he's
so
been doing all week.
yesterday where it was this point in the match where Shelton was serving for the first set and he got broken there. I mean, he reset pretty quickly. So we'll see. He'll have to do that again. Probably even tougher this time with how well Giron is playing. Couple of really good points to start this game. Nice finish at the net here into the open court. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, this is good stuff from Marcos. I really thought this set was over. I mean, it was love 30 when he was serving at 3-5. So 3-5, and then we were talking about Ben missing that lob just barely. So all of a sudden we have a momentum shift here.
Yeah, and that's the second time this week, I guess, that Ben Shelton does not serve out a set.
Yep.
As we watched yesterday against Tommy Paul, then he ended up winning it in a tiebreak.
Yep.
Can he pull it off again? Is gonna be the question. Unless maybe he still wins the game, but he's not. Yeah, Marcos Giron. I mean, the shots that he's hitting right now.
For some reason,
uh,
it's something about when you and I commentate, we always get the first set tiebreak. I mean, not always, but at least like this would be like
well,
maybe.
Paul Shelton for sure, but that's the second
I
time
think
we're
Alcaraz
getting
Rune,
it.
we also got the first set tiebreak.
Alcaraz Runa. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay, makes
Well, I
sense.
guess we did one ego match. We did the Coco Golf and Frontech one in Beijing. That doesn't.
Beijing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that didn't get a tiebreak. That was not really close to getting a tiebreak. I usually say that when I'm commentating a match, it sucks. But I don't think Shelton Paul yesterday sucked.
I think
Definitely
that was
not.
a good one.
It was two sets, but it was very good.
Yeah.
I mean, Shelton Giron is definitely delivering so far,
Hmm.
especially as Marcos is just peaking, completely peaking.
Yeah. So maybe we'll continue our streak of ATP matches, first sets, tiebreaks. I mean, that is exactly what Ben is thinking right now in this changeover. I need to get it to a tiebreak for Damien and Vanch. It's exactly what he's thinking. Another exciting match in a few hours' time with Arthur Fils versus Stefanos Tsitsipas. Looking forward to that one. Both in pretty good form this week. On a very good forehand from Giron. Really just went after that. Good patience and
Oh, John is a celebrity now in Tunisia. No, I'm not unmoved by Tsitsipas feeds. I'm definitely am moved by that one. It's just the way I present my excitement, you know.
yeah, it does seem like a match you would enjoy actually.
I am definitely excited by that. I do wonder how it's gonna look, you know.
Yeah,
Tsitsipas Antwerp seems like pretty good conditions for him.
yeah.
Has he gotten something going this week? I mean, his opponents so far have not really delivered,
Mm.
but you know, it's still something. Getting at least 3 matches in. I would love for Fields to be competitive. I would love for Fields to have a shot at winning there.
Mhm.
I don't know if I fully believe in it, but I might. You know, it's like there is a bit of um, belief in me, and if Fields comes out and there's that spark that ignites me, then possibly I'm gonna believe.
I
I'm gonna commit to that more.
was really disappointed the last time I was on a Feast call for talking tennis because Feast had
What
just
was
came
the
down,
match?
which was a very good matchup for him. He had just beaten him in Hamburg.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the Zverev
And then
match.
he
Yeah,
plays Zverev, and then it's like completely different story, and just not a great matchup for him. And
yeah, no 35
move
for
on.
winners with 20 something
No,
forehands anymore.
no, that was just yeah, peak Feast, but also against an opponent who allowed that to happen, Casper.
Yeah, Casper is like Taylor Fritz. We talked about it yesterday that Taylor is basically allowing everyone to get the biggest win
I
of
mean,
their
I think
careers, and
Wood has lost like 12 matches this year against players outside the top 50. It's just
yeah.
not.
So another one of them right now is Rune, but that's usually not the case. It's just
Yeah.
that now that he's in this terrible injury slash
When was the
form
last time
stretch.
a Masters? Actually, when was the last time that a major finalist did not qualify for tournament? Um, well, I guess Kyrgios last year, but that doesn't really.
A major finalist who was what?
He didn't qualify for Turin because it's very
Who didn't qualify for Turin. Okay. Yeah, Kyrgyz definitely works, but otherwise,
But the rankings were weird last year, so there's that aspect
yeah,
also.
otherwise it's not gonna be that easy to find, I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything. Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, even Puerta made the final, and uh, even he made the year-end finals in 2005.
Yeah, but that's like
2006, yeah.
a lot further back. I guess Nishikori also did in
Yep.
2014.
Oh, he did. He made the semis.
Hmm. I guess that would mean everyone since. I don't
Yeah,
know.
2008.
Was Mariano Puerta really the last one? Maybe he was.
No, I mean Puerta made it to the finals
Puerta made it to the finals.
in 2005. Yeah, I think.
As an alternate, but yeah, I guess if you want to count that, then I guess yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean alternate. I guess it counts. I mean, he played it, right?
Yeah, because Nadal withdrew, I think. But so like he was technically not an alternate even because Nadal withdrew before the event. Okay, yeah, sure.
But that's like Fritz last year because Fritz only played it because Alcaraz.
Yeah, but Fritz didn't make a major final.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
That's
He
why
was
that's why I
yeah,
was I was sort
Masters
of thinking
one
about that.
thousand. No, actually, Masters 1000 champion. The other example. Yes, yes. Yeah, no, but we're talking about major finals. So, never mind.
Mm,
Shelton with a
yeah,
mini
so
break, by the way. To love. Let's see what happened on that.
well, Del Potro also was qualified in 2018, but he withdrew. Hmm. Kevin Anderson, I think he didn't qualify in 2017.
Yeah, good work. No, I think yeah, you're right. He never qualified. I mean, he was one of the
Yeah, he did in 2018, but not in
yeah,
2017. But it is very rare. It's also a bit of a byproduct of the big three, big slash big four era,
yeah.
because like if you just see, I don't know, 2011 or 2012,
Yeah,
you
that's a
only
big
have
deal.
Nadal, Federer, Murray, and Djokovic in the finals. So like, who
I
was
think
not
a big deal
going to
for
qualify?
one of Query and Anderson to not make it and basically get leapfrogged by Jack Sock.
Yeah, basically. Um, I think maybe as well. I wonder if in 2000, because in 2008 Tsonga qualified, but did Bagdatis qualify in 2006?
Mm,
Yeah, he did not as well.
he didn't.
So there was another one in 2006. But anyway, yeah, it is really rare. But it does make sense because Kasper's year is basically saved by that one
Yes.
run. Well, saved. He had a couple of other results, I guess, like Rome semi, which I
That's
think are
still
fine for him, but just the consistency hasn't been there. So
no.
basically, you could maybe say that his year is like saved by that. If it didn't happen, like let's say he loses in the opening round at the French, then he's like where in the rankings? Still top 20 or not? Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's still like 14th then. So it wouldn't be wasted really. Like it wouldn't be a terrible year, I guess. Well, in the ATP race he would be lower because he doesn't have his Turin points there. So he would be like yeah, around 20th actually. So you could probably say that it would be a little under my expectations for him, let's say.
Oh, and Shelton with a forehand error after having already lost his break lead. Well, that was mostly due to really great play by Giron. Very good 3 points in a row from left two down. And Shelton feeling the pressure a little bit there. went for a really big forehand, try to finish the point. Yeah, some impressive effort last 12 minutes for the Californian.
Both former NCAA champions.
Yes. Oh, man. Then just missing that backhand down the line wide. Was the right idea, but he cut it way too fine. He's going to challenge, but I think this is going to be wide. Yeah, it's wide.
I've not seen it yet, but oh, okay. Yeah, I can understand the intention to challenge for sure.
Yeah.
It was indeed very close. Um, yeah, and that Shelton, I mean, Giron got himself into this position, got himself into the tiebreak, and now it's Shelton actually spraying a bit, actually getting some errors that he wasn't earlier in the set. The previous point, even this one, he was already close to losing it on the first stroke. The
Mhm.
forehand that he shanked, and it sort of miraculously landed in. So
We'll
there's a
see.
big chance for Marcus Giron right now.
We'll see if Ben can win one of these points and get one of them in the breaks back. He's having to scramble right now in this rally.
Yeah.
Oh, and Marcos actually misses a forehand, and yeah, that was out. I'm surprised there was no call. Shelton is putting his arms up in the air. He's challenging, and I think that forehand from Marcos is going to be out. I'm surprised no one called it. Let's see.
I still haven't seen it. That's probably gonna be this. No, not this shot. Oh Jesus, you're really
Oh,
far ahead
Jesus,
now.
it was on the line. Wow. Okay. No wonder. No,
So 6-2 then.
I really did think that was out. But, wow.
Yeah, it looked out to me as well. So 6-2 for sure for Giron then.
Yeah.
4 set points, and
Yeah.
then that was another pretty great rally from him. Yeah, that's very
Yeah. Very, very well
clearly
done.
on the line.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
a couple of unforced errors for Ben and an opportune time to the tiebreak where he sprayed, but gotta give Giron most of the credit because
Yeah.
the 2 points that he played, especially to get it back from love 2 to 3-2, I mean, it was just really
And
good.
you also have to get yourself in this position. Like he had to break to stay in the set.
Yeah.
He basically asked the questions, and at some point, Shelton's game maybe lost a little bit of its control, and Giron
Yeah.
just kept it
Seeing the
up,
stats and
won the
pretty
tiebreak.
both +2 for Shelton in the winners and unforced, +4 for Giron. Both had 10 unforced. Giron with 14 winners, Shelton with 12. I mean, you don't often see Shelton being the one who's trailing in the winners category, especially with how many free points he gets or aces on his serve, especially. But we're seeing Giron really
Yeah.
step up and play more offensive this week and just raise his overall level.
8 forehand winners from the canon of Marcos Giron. But
Yeah,
actually, it has been a very good shot today and this week in general.
it looks like he's found something on that forehand. I mean, the backswing is like his balance looks better. It looks like he's hitting it, just going after it a bit more, just trusting it. I think.
Yeah, and then he can go to the net where he's very good as well. So
Yeah, yeah. There's something about
the
this Tokyo court bringing out, the best in some players who are. Yes, I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of Kurumitova winning Tokyo and feeling like she played the way she normally does, but just at a better level. And that's what we're seeing from Giron.
Kudermetova is a weird player. Like she,
I mean, she's like really good against the top 10. Like,
yeah.
16, 17 versus the top 10, and then it's not so
And
good
you
against.
can never really count on her like winning, I don't know, 5 matches in a row. Well, you could in Tokyo, yes, and she has been winning WTA Tour titles before, but I'm just talking about all these instances when she's playing well before a slam, and then everyone is
No, yeah,
big on her, and yeah,
no, yeah. I think about Australia this year. Like she has that one.
Australia especially. I think
Uh,
that was the most shocking example. Who did she lose to? Was it Volina? No, it wasn't. I think she played
Moy-
Katie
yeah,
Volinets.
I think you're right. I think but
Yeah,
that's
and that's, I mean, that's a tragic loss
yeah.
if you're in the sort of position that Kudermetova was seemingly approaching the Australian Open and French Open. You know, she has an excellent Madrid and Rome and wins 4 games against Schmidlova.
Mm,
Wimbledon, I mean, she loses to the eventual champion Vondroushova, but like on grass, you would actually expect Kudermetova to be pretty dominant here. I think. Like she literally had a very good grass season again, and then she loses to Vondrousova with no chance really, and loses to Pera in the first round at the U.S. Open. Basically, she had an awful 4 slams this year,
yeah.
and that's really the main issue with what she's done, because otherwise she has been at times excellent.
Mm.
So still just number 18, I guess, with that, despite the WTA 500 title. But that's what not performing at the slams is gonna do to you. She should still be in the WTA. How is it called? Elite Trophy, right?
Yes, yes. She's in that field next week.
Yeah.
Yep. The last week for most players on tour. Well, I mean, this week is the last week for most players on tour. Next week is the last week for.
So these week's events are the last like proper WTA Tour
Yeah, like
events.
250s.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
last of the 250s, yeah.
So we've just got the WTA Elite, WTA Finals, and Beijing King Cup, right?
Yep, and then a bunch of 125s.
Yeah, the good thing about the WTA Tour, something that I really enjoy about it is that the 125s, they basically go throughout December almost. I mean, not during Christmas, but like
Poor
they,
Alicia Parks, man. She's gonna have to start winning some of those
yeah,
tournaments.
and
Then her points are gonna fall off.
I cannot say poor Alicia Parks because the way she lost to Rusa this week, from two double breakup in the decider. I mean,
You see her have the week that she had in Lyon. You see her play like the way she did at the end of last year. And it's just like it is not carrying outside of indoors.
yeah, I mean, this week she lost indoors from a double break up in the decider against Gabriela Rusa.
It it was
Yeah,
really yeah.
it is seriously hindering my ability to feel sorry for Alicia Parks because she has put herself in this position,
Mm,
and yeah, there's lots to defend, obviously. Yeah, and the WT 125, it basically goes for 5 straight weeks after the Beijing King Cup finals, after the WTA finals. I'm not sure why. No, I think after the Beijing King Cup finals, it goes for 5 straight weeks. So lots to watch if you can, and that's, well,
yeah.
if you can, I guess, is a very right choice of words because the WTA 125 level is seriously blocked from the viewers all over the world. But that's fine. We have our
John will
methods.
be at the BJK finals, by the way, because talking tennis has been given a credential. So
Huh? Come
should
again?
be, talking tennis will be covering BJK Cup.
Hmm.
John will be there. We did not get accredited for the WTA finals. Like, I tried, but it didn't work. Seems like we can get credited for a lot of 250s, 500s on the WTA. Maybe the occasional 1,000 as well, like Madrid.
Well, next year you don't know where the event is gonna be, John. So the event could be in
Yeah, I think
Antarctica.
WTA it's a tough one, like because unless you're writing or unless you're like a local reporter, unless you're yeah, like unless we're like doing some really serious journalism, it's really hard to get credited for WTA finals.
Possibly. I don't know. I've never tried, but yeah, like most 250s, they don't. They generally accept almost everyone, right?
Yep.
So um, there you don't really have to. Of course, it's even easier with challengers. I don't think anyone in the history of tennis has been declined accreditation to a challenger. I'm saying that, and now I'm probably gonna jinx myself and get declined somewhere. But I don't really know where the event would have to be in order for that to happen. I mean, and the Marcos Giron sledgehammer of a forehand is still taking its victims. 1-0 in the second set, and now he has a real serious chance of winning this match. Actually,
It's really penetrating through this court. I guess this court is like medium to fast. Probably not as fast as it was for the WTA, but it's it's still.
why is it not as fast?
I think we were talking about it yesterday that we felt like it was faster
Yeah,
than the.
I'm just wondering, why is it?
Oh, why? Why? Yeah, I don't know the
Yeah,
reason. I think it's just
it doesn't
could be
feel
the weather,
like
maybe, but
it's
I don't think
faster.
the weather.
Yeah, I guess that's the only real
Yeah,
thing that could have changed, right? The weather. I mean, only factor that has
the
moved.
balls are different. I think maybe the
Oh,
balls.
and the balls
That's
as
more.
well. Yeah, and that would also make sense because the players have been complaining about it on both sides actually, but maybe even more so on the ATP about all the injuries potentially.
Yes, I saw Gil Rose put out something where he was like, why don't we just add some cosmetic and stencil and paint, and we keep the same ball for the swing, but we just change it because we keep the same deals that we get from the manufacturers, but we just change the cosmetic of how the ball looks, and we finally agree on a ball that all the players are
Oh,
in agreement
there's
with.
not going to be a ball that all the players are
Yeah,
satisfied with,
it's
but
like,
there
I
there,
mean,
there could be a ball that they're okay
it's not
with,
bad. It's
definitely.
just I see it. It's very tough to actually see that happening, but it makes sense.
Yeah,
It's just
but I think the main problem is that the deals that tournaments have signed, they are basically like some of them will be until 2026,
mm,
some of them will be until 2030.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, there are solutions to this problem. It's not impossible to get out of that, but so far we haven't really seen a reaction. But I think soon we will have to,
yeah.
um, from the governing bodies of tennis, since it seems like every player is now complaining, and lots of them are linking their injuries as well to this situation. Did he really miss that forehand? I guess he
We
must
did.
have.
Mm.
Lots of confidence right now in using that jackhammer forehand from Marcus Giron.
Yeah,
No, I'm actually, I started just saying some random words, but he actually, like that is his best shot. And when he's aggressive on it, when he can advance forward into the court, it's definitely where it shines. So, good that he's hitting it like that this week. Not gonna win him this
there are
game, but
some players on that I can think of in the past that would love to have a forehand like that because it is his biggest shot, like by far, if you take everything in relative terms. Because his service motion, I mean, like I think of someone like I don't know, Paolo Lorenzi. Imagine he
Polo
had a forehand.
Lorenzi.
Yeah, imagine he had a forehand that Giron has right now. I mean,
Yeah, I
that
mean,
was
imagine if he had anything in his game, really, does. Other than the grit and the fight.
this iconic way of doing like the service motion and the preparation for the service motion. It was like he
Yeah,
was
he
like
sort of
smelling the ball. He was like smelling the ball in his left hand before he
and
was.
he looks at he looks like this at the ball, sort of. Yeah. Oh, I wasn't doing that to the camera, but he does something like this, and I think he's also with his mouth open. Yeah.
That's my biggest weapon. Actually, this was my biggest issue when I played tennis as a junior. I mean, I didn't really have huge weapons. I was not very tall. I was a little undersized when I was playing. I was mostly playing players that were like 3, 4, 5 inches taller than me. So I had to just rely on my fitness. You can call fitness a weapon. Maybe I had that.
Yeah.
Tennis IQ. I had to rely on mixing up the pace. I had a good slice, which helped me out sometimes. Helped me set up my forehand. Uh, my serve was not as big as I would have liked, so that was definitely my biggest weakness.
Mine is a knife. That's my biggest weapon. And John also says busy day for Paulini in Monastir today. Uh, is this because she has to host the event herself, like Jasmine Open? Well, she's playing both the singles and the doubles, so that's probably what he meant. But what?
By the way, Petros Tsitsipas is going to crack the top 100 in doubles. Did you see that?
They call me River Dance. Petros Tsitsipas is gonna crack the top 100. Did he do anything this year? I mean, I remember him having a few tournament titles with Cornea last year, but like this year,
In
really?
doubles.
He doesn't even. Well, he has one title this year with Bergevi in Antalya at the beginning of the season. What? I mean, his results this year don't make it seem like he should be cracking the top 100. I don't really get how.
I think probably after this week, though, the semis here. I don't know if that's enough to get him over. I think it is, like based on the live rankings. I don't know if that does. So.
No, I'm just surprised because it seems like last year he was much stronger than this year. So, but yeah, he's at 100 in the live rankings. Could still get eclipsed by Talon Greek Sport, and that's it. I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, Talon Greek Sport is the only player who could be in front of him if Talon wins Stockholm with Bart Stevens. Stevens, I don't know. No clue how I should read it, but anyway, Marcos Giron obviously held comfortably as Marcos Giron tends to do.
Yeah, Ben missing that forehand a little bit longer. Regulation forehand, so enforced error. Let's see if we can. Oh, Debbie Marcos Giron in a 500 final. I would never thought I'd be saying those words, but it's
Is San Diego his only final on the ATP Tour?
yes, yes, it is. I mean, he has cracked the top 50 before. His career high is 49, but
Yeah.
it's still generally you're not making a 500 final at this level. Oh wow, Ben did not do enough with that approach, but still clean backhand cross-court pass for Marcos. He's just feeling it right now.
And the funny thing is, recently I did this sort of exercise, I guess you could say, where I just looked at the top 100 when Brody made it, actually. And
Yeah.
I was sort of thinking, who is, like, when it comes to my understanding of talent, who is the worst player in the top 100? And like the guys I could come up with were basically Hijikata, Brody, Giron. Marcus Giron might soon be in the top 50 again. Marcus Giron might soon be in the ATP 500 final. And credit to him, he is playing some absolutely awesome, inspired tennis.
Another
Shintaro
very
Mochizuki has been inspired by the crowd this week, and Marcos Giron has been inspired by who knows what, but he is pulling it off. He has free break points on Ben Shelton and would be just
yeah,
three holds
his
away.
guy, he's made a couple of those points that he's really like confused right now, doesn't know what to do. Oh, second serve in another deep return. This time they're still in the valley. Let's see what happens now. He's going to come in on that, but it doesn't seem like it'll be good enough. And
Yeah.
no,
The return was really good, but he never really followed it up.
yeah, we'll say this is really good tennis from him.
But
I
he
think
gets there.
there was one run like this where like this is kind. You know what this is reminding me of? This is like peak Steve Johnson. Like remember Steve Johnson like 2016 Vienna. He got to the final.
I mean, just in terms of the run, right? Because like
Yes,
playstyle wise, it's very different. But yeah,
because like I did not think he was going to get to the final. In the start of that week, and then he
S-
almost beat Ferrer in the final. And I was like,
Steve Johnson, I guess, had a lot more like
yes, no, no, no.
other
He did. He
runs,
did. He
right?
was 16 in the world. He won 4 titles. Like he had a lot of other achievements. I mean, he was
Yeah,
weak at Wimbledon, playing Federer. Like 2016 in general was a very good year for Johnson. Like he was he was very good in 2016. Let's just say.
yeah. I've been enjoying his resurgence of late, although it seems like Nishash Basavaredi is just in his head, and
So
and he cannot beat the guy. Um, but yeah, 21. Did you say that Johnson was 16th or something like that?
no, I think yeah. Was he ever in the
Yeah,
top 20? Johnson?
21 is his
Okay.
career high here.
That must
That's
have been
that's that's what I thought, but I had to check. Oh, you were talking about 2016. Okay, I understood it as if you said that his career high was 16. Never mind. Now I understand what happened. Um,
yeah. Mm,
yeah, John seeing the semis and doubles final in Monastir. Errani, the former five-time Grand Slam champion, that's in doubles. That's a guess, honestly. But that's a bit of a treat for sure for John. It is right. Yes, it is five. Not every day you watch the former doubles world number one, and maybe another retirement or a withdrawal from Lesia Tsurenko
yeah.
coming up.
I was waiting for her this week. I'm like, she's already in the semis and no withdrawal. So
Yeah, time is running out. I mean, she needs to come up with something very quickly because otherwise she will not maintain her beautiful streak.
at that point, she would have more walkovers and retirements than since the
Sh-
2020s than Swiatek has
That
titles.
Swiatek his titles. Yeah, and
I think
at the same time,
that would be like
recently she
seven,
lost. Mhm.
that'd be like 7 walkovers and retirements this year if she did. Like, I mean, that would be half the events she's played. Like,
Yeah, but at the same time, she recently lost a match where she lost the last two sets in both in bagels, right? And she didn't retire there, so I was shocked
I don't know.
because many people are just accusing her of pulling out with anything basically, but she actually plays through a match where she loses the last 12 games, and I don't know, just some food for thought, I guess. You never really know what's going on inside, a player's body, and we shouldn't pretend we have that knowledge. Although, yeah, when someone retires or withdraws 13 times in less than 2 seasons, it's certainly quite eye-catching and probably doesn't speak too highly of, I don't know, integrity. I don't know how to even call it. but yeah, maybe there's just something that keeps going wrong for her. I think especially when she played Iga at the French, right? People were like, okay, she retired because she has no chance to win. But yeah, recently she got basically double bageled and still kept playing. And Marcos Giron cruising to another hold, it seems.
Yeah.
We really are gonna get that Giron Mochizuki final. I want it now.
Mm, interesting.
And it finds the line, this quick +1 forehand
I mean,
early off the bounce.
this is Giron peaking. Like this is like
Yeah.
I don't even think Ben has done that much wrong. It's just
Yeah, he Giron has really been forcing him to play a great match, and he was delivering until a certain point.
yeah,
But
and he
then
fights very very well. And,
just some uncertainty kicked in, and the baseline game lost its, well, maybe a little bit of its patience, maybe just a tad. Ooh, and they're still playing in this rally, yeah.
yeah,
Giron catches the lob as well, which didn't even seem half bad.
he did so good at the net today. 15 out of 17 net points won. It's-
Yeah, that's his best tennis, right? When he can crack the forehand, go to the net.
Yeah, quite a good volleyer.
He just sort of that I mean that's the sort of tennis I guess that we said earlier, that he kind of doesn't have anything exceptional, but is just really sharp, and when he can attack.
Mm, yeah,
Well, today his forehand has been pretty exceptional though.
it's been very good. I mean, it's hitting so many winners. It's forcing them to overthink, overplay at times, and it's been very smart. But Ben wants to just keep holding and keep putting the pressure on, and maybe get to a break point again. And who knows? Maybe Marcos will feel the pressure when he's serving out the match. But Ben has just put himself in that position and just ask the question. Ah, double fault. Ben also not getting that many free points on his serve right now. Everything is just coming back. He's being forced to play basically 5, 6, 7 shot rallies over and over and over. So that's the right way to play Ben. But getting in those longer exchanges and where he's still a little
Yeah,
bit.
also I guess a nice way for Giron to sort of show that, whereas Shelton has definitely improved
He still has
in
those.
in terms of his experience, he's not fully
Yeah,
fleshed out, I guess, as a top tier talent yet. I mean, he is still fairly raw. You can get him to crumble a little bit. And I was a little amused by a tweet that I saw yesterday. I don't know if it was like that for you, but my notifications on Twitter were like totally screwed up.
yeah,
And I
that
actually didn't see it until like 10 hours later. But someone quote tweeted what I said earlier in the day about Shelton
happened.
after we watched the match against Paul. And
Yeah,
this was a Djokovic fan. And he said that we don't get enough credit for the US Open. We beat this generational talent in the semifinals. And sort of the guy made it seem as if because Shelton has a great match against Tommy Paul and is like improving pretty rapidly, that was some unbelievable win. And I mean, it might be an unbelievable win for Djokovic if they play in like 2 years or something. I don't know, but so far, definitely there's still a learning curve for Shelton, and
Yeah,
sometimes players will be able to expose that. And so far, Marcos Giron is just playing, I mean, the perfect match, really.
yeah. Another serve back in play and then having to defend. Wow. Good point for double break. Then I'm going to try to use the slice. We'll see if we can get out of this jam. This is quite a good rally right now. Oh, and this time he's not able to counterpunch. And it's Giron. Man, the forehand. It's been a hammer.
Yeah. And this is a rally where Shelton has been like playing patiently, right? But it
Yeah,
didn't matter because
this wasn't enough. I mean,
he still gets out rallied by.
yeah. Just really solid, imposing, aggressive tennis. Yeah, just very, very clean so far, especially the second set. I mean, almost flawless.
Marcos Giron. I mean, it's impossible to see him losing this match from here.
Yeah,
So
no, I definitely think this is.
we can already start talking Marcos Giron in an ATP 500 final, and also Marcos Giron getting 3 consecutive top 20 wins. That's
Is
really.
this the most unexpected mass 500 finalists in a while? Like, I mean, we
I
also
would
have.
have to check. Was there maybe no no
I
no
mean,
no.
I'm not counting like Hamburg, which always has like different ones, but like,
Yeah, I don't know, but Leonardo Mayer would still be a more expected one. I'm
yeah,
thinking of no, but
was it
Heider Maurer. It was a
like,
semi, not a final, right, in Rio years ago. No, but in Rio there was Gianluca
was it?
Mager.
Oh, Gianluca No, I mean, but in the final.
He wasn't in the final.
No, like I'm talking finalists, not semi-finalists.
No, but he wasn't in the final. I thought he was in the final.
He
Who
was,
was in
he
the
was,
final that year? There
he
was
was
someone. It
2020
wasn't.
Rio. I mean, it was Garin, I think, right? Garin was in the.
No, Mager. It was a final.
It was a final. Wow. Okay, wait.
Yeah,
What is that? Uh,
I think it was a Gianluca Mager, Attila Balash semi, right?
yeah, I remember that, but
Yeah. So it was
yes, it's
Gianluca
the
Mager
January
in the
Euro,
final.
you're right, because Margaret defeated Team, right?
Yeah, quarters, and then he
Yeah,
plays Attila Balash in the semis. So it was a
yeah,
Gianluca Mager final. Yeah,
yeah, that would be the one then. Uh,
probably. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else really that I can come up with. But
yeah,
that definitely, I remember when Magar played Balash in the semi city of an ATP 500. That was a wild one.
how did Balash get into the U.S. Open this year?
He froze his protected ranking.
Okay. Yeah, because he basically like barely.
Yeah, he came back in. I mean, basically, he got injured after the Australian Open 2021. Then he came back at Ostrava 2022. I was actually watching his first match back live against Sachko. And then after a few months, he froze his projected ranking. So he still has some time on it. I don't remember exactly how much, but yeah. Um, it's kind of unbelievable that he is still using the ranking that he had at the Australian Open 2021 to this day. Um, but he has earned it. I mean, it's within the rules. Every one of us would do the same if we are him, right? Jesus, another great forehand from Giron. I don't know if he's gonna win the point since
Very
the
good smash.
smash is a little shaky, but yeah, no, it's actually not. It's actually not shaky at all.
Yeah. Second serve though. We'll see if he can get to a great point. Oh, is that in? We'll see if that's in. It is in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made it. Yeah. Had to really go for something big, I think, there because it's really kind of urgent that Ben gets returns back in play. Oh, and he does play a very good 2 points, so he does get one of the break backs. We'll see
Maybe
if
the match is not as done as we thought yet.
yeah, maybe not.
Putting a bit more pressure on Giron in the last couple of rallies, and it works out. Still needs to win 2 more games to get it back to level terms.
Mm-hmm. Couple of quick points. Winning the first point of the game will help. Serving in volume. Then after the second serve, but just missed it.
Well, looks like the next game could be the most crucial moment of Marcos Giron's career, and it's not an exaggeration. Like that's really what it is.
Yes. Yeah, I mean Shelton's first serve percentage has not been high enough, I think, in this match at times. He's at 58% in the first set, 57% here. But that's also the pressure that Giron is really putting on Ben's first serve and neutralizing it well. And it's been a very complete performance from Giron. But now let's see if he can hold his nerve and, like you said, biggest moment of his career coming up.
Yep.
Yeah, nerves would be very understandable for Giron. As Ben does his job, he holds serve, hits an ace. Nice couple of games for him. And we shall see if this is the moment. Yeah, the other matches we've done on the men's side. Alcaraz Runa. That was 7-6, 6-4, 6-4, and then Shelton Paul yesterday. Pretty good match. So had a first set tie break. And yeah, we got this one. So,
Yeah, this is really the most important game of Giron's career, and Terry also wondering in the chat if Giron's gonna choke up. We'll see.
yeah.
Certainly, right now it doesn't feel like a certainty that he's so certainly it doesn't feel like a certainty. I mean, it doesn't feel like a certainty anymore that he's gonna win it. So much pressure on him here. Of course, some 3 points on serve will definitely help.
Yeah, that will help that he got the first point on the board.
Ooh, and Shelton backhand breaks down to give Giron another one. So maybe he's not even gonna be asked that question of are you gonna choke or are you gonna hold up?
Yeah, I think you're a little ahead of me.
Yeah. I will refrain from saying anything on the match point or like the next point or whatever. Um, Basically on the key points. Since I moved to that stream, which was ahead of you, the other one was inconveniently behind for this game. Um, yeah, and also Giron with a win here, he would already be almost in the top 40. Wow,
Hmm.
it's insane.
Yep, that is the kind of tennis we've been playing this week. All right, and a starting point by Ben. It's a tough overhead. But let's see if we can actually ask some serious questions here. Oh, oh wow, okay. Smart play to go right at him, but also not a great approach.
Yeah, and that's some nerves now from Giron showing up.
Yeah, just lacking a little bit of conviction. Not,
Can't blame him really.
yeah.
Ooh.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely feeling the nerves. Oh, and Shelton does get the break back, but clearly a very nervy game from Marcos.
Yeah, it definitely showed that Shelton, I mean, that this is the most important moment for Giron's career. And of course, he's like, what, 10 years? Well, 9 years older than Ben. But actually, it's Marcos Giron who is less sort of experienced at these stages of ATP Tour events, I guess. Well, not ATP Tour events, but like tour level and, the Grand Slam stage. And yeah, the fact that this is his possibly his best moment, best ever result, showed up big time, but maybe he can still recover. Who knows? Oh, he's certainly a bit more loose in this game already.
Yeah,
But in a second, you're gonna see Shelton with another short slice play. Again, down the line with a lot of side spin on it. Yeah, and anytime you think that Shelton is sort of out of the woods here, Marcos Giron just keeps going. He blasts a big forehand. He caps it off with this time a great volley and shows that he is not done yet, despite that change of momentum that we have had. Yeah, and usually you would take your chances in like position like 5-6 in the tiebreak against Ben Shelton. You would usually maybe Giron would usually like that sort of a 5-6. I mean, serving to get to a tiebreak against Ben Shelton. Usually he would like himself in that position maybe, but now there's gonna be that whole weight of the last 4 games and rough times for Marcus Giron here for sure. Okay, the camera was frozen. Why is he getting no aces? Shelton, he just literally hit an ace for the 6th game, right? 7-4 in the ace count in favor of Ben.
Sorry if I'm not talking that much. One of my email accounts just got hacked,
Ooh,
so I'm just changing my passwords and doing something with those.
yeah, yeah. No worries, no worries.
Don't know why this phone is hacked.
How did you realize that it was hacked?
I ended up getting an email. I got an email saying that
Uh-huh.
they detected some suspicious activity and that I have to change my password. So it's one of those, and that is not great because I need this account for Skype, and because it's my Microsoft account, so
Okay.
it's important.
Yeah, and even though Giron is serving right now, the last 4 games definitely taking their toll on him mentally. Loses the first point of this game, and this is a rough moment. Like if he's gonna be able to win this set after the last 4 games, it would be an incredible effort. But right now, it feels like nothing can come easy for him. And Shelton hits a ridiculous forehand pass on the run. I mean, if you'll have like as a second, you should definitely see this one for Freddie Love in this game. Wow.
Still at the first point in the game, my screen is still behind.
Yeah, the second point is definitely worth watching. And yeah, still not looking too bright in this game for Marcus Giron. Of course, he sort of has put himself in that position by not failing to serve out twice, and now misses the second serve for
All right,
doubtful.
I'm back now. I think I got it fixed. So I'm watching the
Okay.
final, and oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah, one
Yeah.
shot.
And that's really like it could be the moment when Marcos Giron loses the match. I like that he's still smiling,
Yeah,
and then
this
sort
is
of
so good.
taking
Wow.
it on the chin.
Yeah. Very
Actually
well.
plays a great point to save first of the three set points. So maybe he is still there. Like he seems sort of okay with what's happening. He's not frustrated, he's not angry, but
Yeah,
the situation is not great right now. Definitely not.
yeah,
But it makes me think that maybe he actually has it in him to, if he loses the set, to play a decent decider as well. Who knows?
yeah. I mean, they both have
He's
their purpose now of losing a set. But I mean, the set is not over yet, so I should
Yeah, the
probably.
set is not over, but
Yeah,
we are sort of thinking that it's over. But Marcos Giron still holding on, actually playing again some pretty loose, confident tennis. These
yeah.
set points down. So
It was a good drop shot to save the first one. So, but then
yeah, I
on
think
the
the main question is going to be how he reacts. When it's the third one, right? When suddenly the pressure already comes in because he's going to start to think, okay, I can come back here.
yeah,
And I've already got the answer for you, but I'm going to wait for you to see it, I guess.
okay. Yeah, he does well to save the first two. Now I'm just going to see the third. Yeah, we've seen it so often, man. You can save the first two and you can get it to 30, 40, and then that's the
Yeah, because
majority.
then you start thinking that, okay, it's possible. I can come back, and it works in many different cases. Like, I don't know, you're 1-6 down in the tiebreak, right? And you come back to 5-6, and then the fifth point is actually the toughest to win
Wow,
because
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
that was
So
very bold, courageous
and he's
tennis.
delivering. He's absolutely delivering so far. So
Well done.
that that third point did not manage to stop him in any way.
Mm,
So this could be, if he wins it in two, this could be one of these cases where you're like, well, for one thing, I have to commend his effort because he never gave up and like recovered from wasting the deficits, but at the same time he wasted the deficits.
mhm.
So how do you judge his mental performance in the match?
You could say he choked, but he won it anyways. That's,
Yeah, I guess it's fine as long as you actually win.
yeah.
And then especially as this is like his first chance at a final like that.
Mm.
But he might not get to the tiebreak after all. Who knows?
Yeah. Four straight points
Needs
for that's what he done.
Yeah, needs to keep swinging freely as he has been the last
Yeah.
couple of
But
rallies.
like the intent was really aggressive from Buffalo down and all these points.
Yeah,
So
like the set points he literally saved by going for it.
yes.
There was no ball, like no neutral rally ball that he hit. Any +1 shot was already an aggressive stroke, then going to the net when he can. And
It's Shelton there, feeling it on the down the line forehand and really opening his shoulders on that one and then didn't have to do that much of the approach. It's a really good volley, backhand angle across court short, and Giron can't get to it, so it's deuce. And I'm sure you probably know a couple points ahead, so you know what happened next.
Giron is the one serving. I think that's the question in the chat in Russian. That's my guess, more or less, but I think I might be right with it. Whew.
Second
You're
serve.
gonna see a pretty sensational shot in a minute. I wonder
Yeah.
how much sway Shelton serve will have against players like Alcaraz or Sinner in the
Let's not
future.
forget, that was a forehand that Ben should have made. But second game point, yes. So let's see if
Um,
for a tiebreak.
hmm.
You see, if I was still in school, and let's say it was like Hoffman versus Giron,
Uh-huh.
I would not be rooting for Giron. Oh, that is sensational. Oh, reason is because USC and UCLA were supposed to hate each other. So
Okay. USC has with Hanfman had like the best college program ever, right? Or
yeah,
I think he was part of it with
Johnson, of course. So
Johnson, Quiros, Gomez,
yes,
Sarmiento, and Daniel Nien. I think that was the best
it's one of
six.
the best. One of the best NCAA coaches just passed away recently.
Hmm.
Lindsay Davenport's father-in-law,
Okay.
uh, Dick Leach. He led USC to
Oh yeah,
full.
yeah. I know him by his name. I actually didn't know he was the father-in-law of Lindsay Davenport. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why actually like it's Jagger's last name is Leach because I always thought for so long that Lindsay Davenport's son was going to go to USC because he was always wearing like USC shirts and equipment and he had all the apparel and I thought he was set to go there, but he made his mind to go to TCU. So
How much longer is the game? Asks Mo. Well,
my
the
goodness,
six all, as you can see on the screen on our scoreboard, the 5-6 game has already been finished.
yes,
But the match itself could last for an hour, even if Shelton wins the second set. Well,
mm,
more than an hour actually.
pretty gripping
If
match so
if
far. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, and that's mostly due to Marcos Giron.
Yeah,
That's who has made it interesting.
for sure.
And even if he loses from here, from that 5-2, it's still gonna create a storyline.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I agree.
basically, Marcos Giron is
Much
responsible for this match in a way.
more important for Giron because who knows how many more chances he have. Whereas for Ben, I'm confident Ben can rebound really fast. Yeah, and that is a very good first point in the tiebreak. We shall see though. He started the first set tiebreak really well, and then lost 7 points in the game. We'll see what happens here. Giron comes up with a big save. Did well to get the serve back in play, but then didn't really control that slice. Again, Giron really going after his forehand on that point, getting the error, forcing the error of the slice on the backhand for Shelton. And it's really it's the pace, it's the weight of shot, it's the aggressive intent on the forehand. I mean, that's really been huge for him. All of a sudden, Ben is under some pressure here. Second serve at 1-2. Can he come up with the goods? Yes, he can. Didn't go for too much on that forehand. Followed it up into the net nicely. So, yeah, good stuff so far early in the tiebreak.
Yeah, and I can already tell you that the next rally is gonna be very exciting. I still don't know who won it.
Thank you for that. Because I will watch this now.
Yeah,
Like that serve is out. Shelton was trying to do a serve and ball or serve and smash.
I mean, I have my guess, and my guess is right. It seems. is gonna be a challenge. So that's all I can tell you.
Good defending
But
from Marcos.
it
Like
could be
you're
a
right.
very important challenge, a very important miss,
Yeah,
or
so I know
not.
you're a close call. Thank you for that. Shelton using the slice, going down the line, but defending again with the slice cross court. Giron going big on his forehand, but it's neutralized. Ben is coming in on the backhand, and the volley. Oh, is it in? Is it in? Is it out? I think it's going to be just wide. But let's see. I don't know. It was very close. It's a huge point right there. I mean, it was just out. And Marcos Giron gets his reward for hanging in. Dan is really furious. He does not believe that that ball was just wide. But here we are. Giron is again up a mini break. Let's see if we can
Yeah.
get this.
He already let the occasion get to him, then he let the occasion not get to him, and now we'll see. I mean, if on the sort of third time of asking when it comes to having a lead to possibly capitalize on, he's gonna be in a different state
Oh,
of mind or not.
and he hits an ace down the tee. Very clutch. I don't know if I would want a third set. It is past midnight.
Hmm.
I do want to go to bed soon. But I am enjoying this match also. So if we do get a third set, I won't be complaining. But
So you're not gonna see Shintaro Mochizuki beating Aslan Karatsu.
fortunately, no. And I do not know if that's actually going to happen. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that
I
would
was
be
just
really amazing. What a run for him to get to the final. Hmm. I'm going to say that that's going to be wide. Yeah, it is. It is not like Giron has won this match because Shelton is refusing to go away now, and we're back on serve. Okay. Shelton is going to serve in bottom, and it's going to work out for him because he found the right serve and it was good enough. Giron's lob was not deep enough, so go high enough. But we'll see. If he can win this point, it'll be on his racket. He'll have two serves. Is it going to happen? We'll find out. And it looks like it's not because Ben made the first serve and he was in very quickly. It was an easy put away in the open court. So he does lead 5-4. And he wins 3 points in a row. And now there's quite a bit of pressure on Giron here to he does make the first serve, but it's neutralized by Ben's backhand and Giron having to defend in his backhand corner and Shelton coming up with a very safe forehand down the line and then choosing to come in behind it. Smart play. And now he has the mini break. And two
Yeah,
set points. And I
Giron
guess
will need some more of his
this
set
is,
point saving magic.
he will, yes. And this is set point number 5. I believe. Or 4, actually. Is it his 4th? Yes, it is his 4th. It will be his
Four,
fifth.
yeah. It was just the love 40.
Yes, yes. It will be his fifth set point after this because Giron is gonna win this point by hitting the forehand winner inside out. Then choosing to come in, but it's one of those where you're like, all right, I'll take the risk, but now I got this on my racket. And with the serve that Shelton has, I presume he's going to win this point. That's my prediction. He's going to win this point. Let's see if he does.
Who?
Shelton.
I mean, he's serving, so
Yeah, I mean, not exactly bold there, but yeah.
you're hardly Nostradamus, yeah. Um,
And yes, he does go to the old faithful and wide, and he forces Giron to hit a backhand again. Giron does well to hang in, forces Ben to hit many shots at the net, but yes, indeed, Ben comes up with the overhead. What a set from 2-5 down. That was sting.
yeah.
That was sting for Giron. He's gonna have
Keith
to be.
Holland in the chat. Go Marcos. Not gonna be
Yeah.
happy about that. And
Ooh,
Matthew says that Giron, this will hurt forever if he doesn't win, and that's actually true.
good goal. Yes.
5-2 up,
So far, he's
playing.
well. Doesn't look too discouraged. He's gonna
Yeah,
use.
he doesn't. Yeah, that's true. Like he does seem to have a very positive attitude.
Yeah,
But right now you are 6 games away from winning the match.
I know.
And by the way, just 5 out of 36 unreturned serves for Shelton. That's incredible.
That is amazing. Yeah, that shows you how much he was having to do from the back of the court.
Yeah, and that's the sort of returning that Giron has been able to come up with. But yeah, the main problem here is that now he has to win 6 games in a row, and that weight of the second set, 5-2
Mm,
up, 4-2 up in the tiebreak as well.
yeah,
It will be very hard to combat that, and
yeah,
especially when there's so much work to be done, because now suddenly you're not 4 points away, you're not 3 points away, you
yeah.
are a full 24 points away, and presumably like 30 something ish points you have to win in order to get the set. So
It
it
is
might
the.
be,
It is also the fact that Shelton's second serve, it being able to withstand, it being able to hold up when he wasn't getting many underturnables, winning 57
yeah.
first points is huge, and then also the net play, winning 18 out of 21 at net because Giron still was more solid from overall, but it wasn't enough because the weapons are just too big for Shelton.
I don't really know how Giron is supposed to be back in this. I think even when Shelton finished off the second set, he didn't have like the usual reaction
I could see
he
this
would.
being more or less straightforward for Shelton in the third,
Yeah,
like 6-4.
especially if he's onto Giron early,
Yeah,
breaks or like gets close to breaking in some of Giron's first service games. And
yeah,
Giron is not quite a big enough server in order for him to like cruise through most of his service games unless he's also winning baseline rallies.
yeah.
We'll see. A lot depends obviously on mindset and how he comes back from the toilet break, which seemingly both players have gone for, given I'm now watching full benches.
I think we all agree with everything in the comments about this being way more important for Giron. Yes,
Yeah,
that is
and
obvious.
that's why he lost the second set, because it's so important to him,
Yep.
because it's the biggest moment of his life. And for Shelton, even though he doesn't have an ATP final himself, Shelton actually has, been at bigger stages than Giron, even though he's 9 years younger. And yeah,
Mhm.
it's just so vital for Shelton. It's the biggest match of his. Sorry, for Giron, it's the biggest match of his life,
Yeah.
and that's why he lost the second set. Now we'll see if he can recover. I mean, I am really amazed by how well he recovered from 5-6 love 40 in the first place.
Yes.
But the question is whether he can keep pulling these comebacks, mental recoveries, however you want to call them, off.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been so tough to just shrug off that 5-4 game because that was when he really felt his nerves. I mean, at 30 all hitting the double fault, and then at 30-40 another kind of loose point, and you felt like even though Shelton was able to win those two games from 2-5 down, I still felt like Giron had the match at that point. I didn't feel like the momentum swing was fully in effect, especially when he got the first point of the 5-4 game. I thought he was going to serve it out, but it was just the occasion really got to him. It was understandable. It was just that little bit of a window that
Did
allowed
he
Ben.
get the first point of the 5-4 game?
Yeah, he went up 15 love. I remember that.
Hmm.
That certainly.
I actually thought it was a long rally and he missed the forehand down the line.
I
But
can check now, but I think he went up 15 love. And,
okay, yeah, it must have been a different game. Maybe it was the 5-6 game. Yeah, you're right. He went 30 love up, yeah. Um I actually must have confused it with the next game that he had on serve.
yeah, 30 love because I think I remember because then you said that Ben's backhand broke down.
Oh, that was the second point then,
The
yeah.
second point,
Uh
yeah. So it was 30,
long rally and he
yeah,
misses the
so he was
backhand,
30
yeah.
love up in that game too.
Yes,
That's
yes, yes, you're right, yeah. So I was thinking about the 5-6 game probably.
Yeah, no, 5-6 game very impressive from love 40. The way he was able to get out of that and then build a 4-2 lead in the tiebreak, and then yeah, I mean that impressed me. He actually did show quite a lot of mental toughness in that stretch. It's just how does he now bounce back from this, especially
Yeah,
losing five
showed
of
a
these.
lot of good bounce back ability here, but
Yeah,
he has to have 10 times more now.
no, and also he must be feeling a little bit physically as well. I might have been extrapolating too much here, but I did see him like kind of touch his lower back, like maybe he was feeling something there. I don't know. Maybe it was just me because I showed the replay again, and he was just he was pointing to his lower back. I hope it's not anything serious. He seems to be fine right now. He's walking and coming out of the court. Yeah, maybe that was just a reaction to losing the set as opposed to any kind of a sign of injury. Actually, hmm. Well, I mean, we got the high stakes in some way because we have the storyline of Giron. Um, it being the biggest match of his life, moment of his
Yeah.
life. But Shelton, who is still not out of the race for the ATP finals. I mean, if he wins this, he will be 14th in the race. And then
Yeah,
if
but I mean, more important than his position is probably how much he would be trailing to Rune, right? Which would be 800 points. So basically
yeah.
a Paris final or bust, more or less.
Is he playing next week? I think he's playing in. He should be
Must
playing
be
next
playing
week.
because I think he's playing every single week from now to try to get there
Yeah.
if it's possible. But yeah,
Is it
Shelton's playing
supposed to
in
be on?
Vienna, then Paris, and then even Sofia in the last week that can count.
Yes. A good volley there by Duran getting to the net. He needs to be playing points like that. Shortening these, it seems well. I wouldn't really say shortening. I mean, he's doing well in the long ones, but just continue being assertive with the forehand. Just keep building the pressure. Yeah. Quick game here so far. 2 hours and 8 minutes in. So we'll see if this match actually gets to the 3 hour mark.
And I'm still I returned to this talk that we had earlier about like the wildest ATP 500 finalists over the years.
Yeah.
And I'm just sort of glancing through all the records, and I just remembered Andrei Golubyev winning the 2010 Hamburg event. So
Yeah.
I think that would be hard to beat, right? That like Giron is probably more established than Golubyev was at the time. Obviously, Golubyev is a top doubles player now, but still,
I
I
mean,
think him winning a
we
500
were
in
so close
singles.
to a bonus winning Hamburg in 2013.
Yeah, but Delbonis, I think did he sort of confirm that? I think more or less, right? I don't know. Would it be a wild 500 winner?
Uh,
Hmm.
a
I guess
little
it's
bit.
questionable. I mean, Leonardo Mayer in 2014 was definitely a surprise as well, but then he also went and got it the second time and also made the final. So
I
I
guess
think he
Bazilashvili was
definitely confirmed it.
18, but also not really, not as surprising as this.
Yeah, no, not as. I think Golubiev comes close. Maybe Delbonis at the time in 2013, yes. Like over the years, probably Delbonis's
He's been
final
coming.
appearance has held up, but at the time it was definitely a huge shock, and of course him beating Federer in the
Yeah,
semis. Maki McDonald in 2021 Washington, like he was probably
yeah,
more established, more well known at the time than Giron right now.
yeah. And actually playing a very good final against Sinner.
Yeah, and a lot younger as well, which also counts since like you generally expect breakthroughs from players that are 20 something rather than 30. Uh, yeah, I'm only looking since 2009 really because well there definitely is going to be something wild in the past, but I
Yeah.
don't want to go too. Um, oh, Marius Kopil, 2018, right? Basel.
Yes, yes, yes. You're right. Yeah, that
That's
was
that's probably worse
that
than
was huge. Yeah, because
that's a more unexpected finalist than Giron, I think.
he beat Cilic in the semis, and he also beat Zverev along the way. So
I mean, that year Kopil also made the final in Sofia, but it was a 250 and it was one of the weirdest 250s ever. So, yeah, Kopil beat Zverev, Fritz, Cilic, and Harrison along the way. So, to beat Cilic, Fritz, and Zverev,
yeah, yeah,
I think that's probably even bigger than Giron would be. It's like Mochizuki, more or less, um,
yeah,
if he pulled it off. Because of course Marcos Giron's unexpected final run can be eclipsed by, well, if he does make the final, which at
yeah.
this point is definitely a bit of an if, although
He has
he
great
has a
point.
break
He
point
very
here
well.
in the
But,
second game.
oh, wow. Hmm. Shelton is in front, but this isn't as advantageous as because he did get that, but he had to work hard there to stay solid. Yeah,
Yeah, so basically Giron's unexpected final run would be eclipsed by Mochizuki in like a,
yeah,
definitely if Mochizuki made it, but of course we don't know if either is gonna be there for now. Either is gonna be there. I'm rhyming today. Beneteau, I don't think that's that big, right? I mean, the guy has had 10 ATP finals, so
was
well,
that
I
Rotterdam?
should probably use the word head since he's not playing anymore.
That was Rotterdam 2013. Right?
Hmm?
You're talking about Rotterdam 2013.
Yeah. I'm just glancing through all the tournaments, sort of, one by one, and that's why it's sort of out there. Yeah, Gianluca Mager, we already talked about it. That must be up there as well, with Kopil, with potentially with Giron. But I think it's also more of the Kopil level rather than and Golubiev as well. I forgot about him, but yeah, Golubiev as well. That was insane. Acapulco, very very normal winners and finalists.
Yeah,
Uh, Lloyd Harris 2021. I mean that whole final, Lloyd Harris, Aslan Karatsev in Dubai.
yeah,
But I mean, they were peaking for that year. Like for the whole season, they were really peaking. So
yes,
it's not Golubiev, it's not Kopil, it's not Mager because they weren't actually peaking the whole season, and that neither is Marcos Giron really. That's why Vesely, does he count? Probably is also up there,
Yeah,
but everyone sort of thinks of him as a player with a higher ceiling
yeah,
than Giron, right? So
yeah. There's actually quite a lot actually. Now that we've gone through
great
this.
point from Giron though.
Wow. Yeah. Very well done.
Another break point, so he still has chances in this third set, which again, you kind of have to say that it's a commendable effort,
Mm.
even though he blew that 5-2 lead.
It is.
Marcos
Yeah.
Baghdatis in 2016 was very surprising, I think, but in
The
Dubai,
five?
but I mean he was a former Grand Slam runner-up, so
Yeah. Mm.
I don't think he can really count in a top 10 player.
Mhm.
Santiago
Alexander
Giraldo,
Bublik this year and how?
mm, as nah, I mean
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
nowhere near close. I think the fact that he won it over such a tough field, it is impressive, but that's not really the same sort of
Oof, that was
statue.
really, really close. That
Well, Kale has had a few though. Philip Pechner in 2011. Well, he was seeded at Slab, so maybe not. But Alejandro Falla in 2014.
Florian Meyer, 2016.
Yeah, Meyer has reached a few of these though. Hamburg
Yeah.
as well. But Alejandro Falla, I think, must be up there.
Yes.
And as well Santiago Giraldo probably. Although he did get into the top 30 that year, and I think reached
Mm.
Barcelona and also maybe one more final. No, that was a few years earlier. But he had like one more big result that year. Can't remember what it was. So Giraldo may be also among that, and I think I only have Queens left to be checked now. And in Queens,
There's
yeah,
not that many surprises. It's,
no one really that comes to mind from these guys. The fact that Feli Lopez won it twice at this stage of his career is surprising, but of course that doesn't count. Not on grass and not for a player who has a career high of like 12 or whatever.
That's a cool full circle moment for Marin Cilic. To lose with championship point up in 2017 and then to get it in 18. Wait,
Yes,
so,
I think a match point against Novak. Only one of just three players to do that.
yep. The other was Yushni, I think, and that
Yeah,
is
2007 or whatever.
yeah, and
And
then
one
one
is
yeah,
one is pretty obvious. Yeah, the 4 hour match.
yes. Which many people say the Djokovic Alcaraz match is the best one they've seen since that match.
In Madrid or
Yes.
or in general?
Yeah, in best of three.
Ah, because you mean Cincinnati or do you mean Madrid?
Yeah.
Because I liked Madrid a lot more. Djokovic
I
Alcaraz.
do, I do, I do too. I think it's the third set of
Okay.
Cincinnati. Makes people
Yeah,
think.
Cincinnati. It was just the third set that was
Yeah.
indeed quite stunning. But yeah, Nadal Djokovic 2009. I have this problem that I have never watched it in full. So I can't really.
Same. Yeah, I haven't watched it in full. I've seen like extended highlights. I've seen like
Yeah, highlights
40
I've seen a few
highlights,
times,
and
but
I've seen
the
like
quality of the recording is also pretty poor. I don't know if it actually impacts my
this is
enjoyment there, but
it's true. It wasn't the best quality. If
yeah,
you go
that much definitely feels
in
like
tennis,
it's
yeah, you can definitely tell. Like 2009, I don't think in general the quality was great. Like in terms of,
yeah, but there are some matches that are definitely
like
recorded better than
I was
this.
watching the Cincy final. Like actually, that's what Enrico had me do as prep for my Cincy gig. We watched the first set of Federer Djokovic 2009 Cincy.
Hmm.
And I was actually quite surprised, like how much clearer and
Which match is that? Is it like 6-1, 7-6
yes,
or no?
yes, 175 for Federer,
7-5, 7-5. Yeah.
2009.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because
Um,
they did that thing where they played every 3 years. So it was like 9,
yes,
12, 15,
yes.
18.
9, 12, 15, 18. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And 12 was a similar scoreline, but 6-0, 7-6, and that one is actually recorded in like great
Yes.
video quality already. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that was even on CBS in the States. So they have very good quality graphics. Oh, no, I mean, Giron is now gonna. This is a huge game for Giron because he had a couple of chances and now he's gonna have to hold here, otherwise could be in big trouble.
Yeah, it's impressive how he's not going away, but
Yeah,
still needs to sort of just keep going, keep holding. It's
yeah,
such a tough position to be in. I mean, to
yeah.
know that you are so close and now be 5 games away. Well, a little while ago he was 6 games away, and
Yeah,
yeah, he has like just kept up that positive attitude, and that's really cool.
good enough, yeah.
There's no frustration really, at least not visible frustration, and
And
maybe just has that sort of mindset where he has, like, as long as it's still even, as long as I'm still in the match, why
Mhm.
would I be thinking about the previous
Yeah,
disappointment? I'm gonna think about it after the match.
yeah. It's good because those are the things you can control, and the few is
Yeah,
all controlling the things that you have control over, and then the rest is
my
just well,
my
basically
dad
just one shot that you have total control over. Everything else is somewhat
yeah,
react to your opponent. So
my dad has this terrible mindset in sports where, if he has a chance, I don't know, let's say to win a tennis match, and he wastes it. Even it doesn't even have to be like he wasted it. It could be a good play by the opponent, but generally speaking, once he has had a chance and it's back to even, he's basically gonna be like, okay, I've had my chance, and he's done mentally. So I think that's literally like the
like
worst thing that you can.
when
Hmm?
he's playing the game,
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
he literally can throw away a match once he, wastes a match point, wastes a chance to win it.
mm,
He just thinks about it, just way too much. Dwells on the fact that he had the chance and he didn't take it, so he doesn't deserve to win or something. It's good that he's not a professional sportsman, because that wouldn't cut it. Like, it's just
mm,
impossible.
yeah, yeah.
And does Marcos Giron still have a shot at the ATP finals? Let
Oh, of
me
course
see.
not. Come on, don't be
No,
crazy.
um, the live rankings are telling me that he doesn't.
This is
Because
bad.
even if he wins this, that, yeah, no, it wouldn't be enough. He would be about
Although I would love
200
to
points
see it just for
from me
the
right now.
Twitter reaction.
Hmm?
I would love to see it just for the tennis Twitter reaction.
Yeah, Marcus Giron. It would be more than Jack Sock making it for sure. Yeah, it would be more surprising. But yeah, he's actually out, especially as he's not on the entry lists for Basel, Vienna, or Paris apparently. But he could. By the way, did anyone take? Because no, today is Saturday. I wonder who's gonna take the special exempts for. Oh, Karatsev took the special exempt for Vienna, and for Basel we still don't know, because this week there are like a billion semi-finalists at the ATP level who are eligible for special exempts in Basel and Vienna, and 500s only carry one special exempt, which makes it really tricky, because someone yesterday asked me like whether Mochizuki could get a special exempt, and I was like, I mean, he is eligible, but the problem is that there are so many players who are ranked ahead of him. You've got Marterer, who could need a special exempt. You've got I think both Fields and Tsitsipas are already in, but you've got Kotov, you've got Monfils,
Yeah,
you've got Giron, you've got Mochizuki, and you've got Karatsev. So you've got
a lot.
six
Yeah,
players, and Mochizuki is the sixth on the list. So he would basically need everyone else to decline, and also he would need to fly over to Basel very quickly. In Vienna, we already have Karatsev as the special exempt. However, he is also the first alternate to the main draw. So uh, could be a weird situation they're going on. Definitely still. I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna work out. But anyway, um, yeah, definitely. Karatsev has taken it so far to Vienna, and Basel we still don't know.
Carrie in the chat is asking what the criteria is for special exam.
For a special exempt, basically your previous tournament must not allow you to compete in the qualifying for the next one. You actually don't need to be on the entry list for either main draw or qualifying. You just need to be at a ranking where you were you would have had to like play the qualies, not be in the main draw, and then that's
Yeah.
fine. You can just take a special exempt. You don't have to play the qualifying. You appear in that event in the main draw, and it doesn't work between levels. So like a good challenger run is not gonna get you an ATP Tour special exempt. And also, I think there's some geographical criteria where if there was an event in Asia next week, then the players playing in Asia could only pick up a special exempt for the one in Asia. However, this doesn't work if there's no event in the same geographical region. This is somehow stated in the rulebook. The regions are listed. So in this case,
Yeah, so that would
Karatsev can
be
grab a special exempt
for
for Vienna, for
yeah,
Basel. Sorry.
that would be unfortunate from uh, that would be unfortunate for Shinto because then he would have to. I mean, his ranking is like 215, right? So
Yeah,
it wouldn't.
basically he's the sixth player
Yeah,
in line out
yeah,
of these six guys who are theoretically eligible. Of course, they can also decline. It happens, the players sometimes feel like, okay, I cannot take the trip or I have to rest up, and
yeah,
maybe someone has declined already ahead of Shintaro. I don't know,
mm,
but yeah, it seems very impossible for him to get in. Simply, a lot of the players that are in the semifinals this week, they are lower ranked. They aren't automatically into the Basel or Vienna main draw. Depends on the when it comes to the number of special exams. Terry, depends on the category of the event. Like it's all in the ATP rulebook.
500 only have
For,
one, right?
yeah, for ATP 500s, you only have one or zero if there's no one you can give it to. For
Mhm.
challengers, it's two, for example.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's very different depending on the category. There's no special exams for Grand Slams because there's no way another event will like going deep in another event will prevent you from playing the qualifying. You actually will schedule yourself to play the qualifying since it's in a different week. Um, for the other events, it's usually between 1 and 2, basically. Um,
yeah,
I think right now with the 1.5 masters at the ATP 1000 level, most of the time you also won't get any SEs, right? Because
yeah.
another event will not prevent you from playing that.
Mm,
Um, yeah, and most of the time you only need to get to the semis at the ATP level to get to get a special exempt because the qualies start on Saturday. But if some event starts on Sunday, then you might have to get to the final. At the challenger level, it's actually always the final because but basically all events end on Sunday, and also the qualifying for almost everything starts on Sunday. So you need to get to the final to get a special exempt. Last week there was that big story with Joris Delors not getting the Antwerp wildcard, which they just gave to Nardi and Layal. I mean, great choices, honestly, but not looking at the nationality, sort of. But because he was in Bratislava on Sunday, he was able to pick up a special exempt to Olbia, and now he's still in the semis playing Kyrian Joquet today. So he's probably not complaining about the Antwerp thing anymore. Well, I don't know if he was complaining in the first place. He kind of doesn't seem like the type, but still, it seemed like a pretty weird decision, but probably just some management deals. Marcos Giron still holding on, and I mean, 28 minutes into the third set, this is now becoming a real battle, a real thriller and grind fest, in definitely, and 2.5 hours.
yeah. He's done well to bounce back, I think, and get these three games. He could have easily had a bit of a level dip.
Yeah, maybe Terry, maybe Runa. He was just maybe he just wanted to pull out because he wanted to rest up. Or maybe it was a tournament with no special exempts. I can't remember. But Runa actually last year he played two matches in a day, right, in two different countries, which is sort of relating to that because he was in the final of a challenger in San Remo, and then he played the first round of the qualifying in Monte Carlo on the very same day. It's actually pretty close to each other. It's like a 45-minute drive, I think. But that was part of, well, the reason for that was that he couldn't get a special exempt for Monte Carlo because, yeah, it just doesn't go between levels. So, so he couldn't get it for his challenger run. And he ended up winning both matches, actually.
Yep.
It feels so weird to talk about it because it was just 18 months ago. But yeah, Holger Rune was still playing a challenger and playing qualifying for Monte Carlo back then.
Yes. Yeah, he was out of the top 100 in the start of the year and then finished number
He-
11. Finished the season number 11, I should say. And he did also have a 7-match losing streak in last year.
Hmm, after the French?
Yep.
Okay.
Well,
Because I
basically,
think he
after he beat
started
Pitt.
his season 2-7, I think. So so he had a couple of really poor patches. Yeah.
Yeah. But I suppose, yeah, once he won Munich, once he got to the quarters at RG.
Yeah, RG quarters was the most important, but then of course the indoor season was just something else. Yeah, it's a shame that we're seeing him in the state that he is in right now because basically like first half of the year it just seems like he is so close to becoming a major contender.
Yeah.
But right now he probably has moved a bit further away from that.
Mm.
Um, yeah, especially if he won one of the Monte Carlo or Rome finals, and also um yeah, like when he played Australia you could see he is still like he
Mhm.
wasn't ready yet to beat Rublev and Djokovic, for example, or like trouble Djokovic there, but you sort of had the idea that in a year he will be. And yeah, it hasn't fully worked out, not quite up to him, but there were also some
I was
uh,
surprised that he didn't win one of those Rublev matches though. Because, I mean, he had enough game to win the Rublev.
well, Monte Carlo he was just dead physically, right? I mean he
Or in Australia, he had
Yeah, Monte Carlo. I mean, Australia. He definitely had his chances, but
mm,
um, he wasn't ready to win that and then beat Djokovic, for example, right?
yes.
Like that. That's basically what I mean. Because
But I
before the
remember
event,
that being such a
that was
letdown for
nice.
the tournament because I just knew going in that Rublev is just not going to challenge Djokovic
Yeah,
in that quarterfinal. And so, and it's like, it was a good win for Andre, but it was,
the quarterfinal for Djokovic, which we saw as a problem round and probably his only problem round really for the whole event,
yes,
was Kyrgios or Rune and not Rublev. Kyrgios or Rune. That was the matchup that could have been threatening to Nola there. But when it was Rublev, yeah, the excitement was not there really for me for that match either, and obviously it did not deliver whatsoever. I not sure if I even watched a point from it, honestly. Oh no, I did watch some. I did watch some. Yeah, I think I watched the first set and just Djokovic slowly outmaneuvering Rublev and also playing through his forehand like he enjoys against these guys like Rublev, Tsitsipas, and etc. Yeah,
yes.
you could see that there's nothing that's gonna change in this match, in this rivalry, at least not anytime soon. So yeah, we are at 3-all, and I again have to say that I am pleasantly surprised with how Marcos Giron is holding up.
Same here. Yeah, I think we both thought that this set would be 6-3 or less, and it would be
Yeah, more or less.
Um,
I mean, it still could be 6-3 or less.
Yes, but I think we didn't expect that he would be holding up so well
Free
the
all,
first.
yeah, and that Giron was not gonna have any issues on serve as well. It was Shelton who had to save a couple of breakpoints. Maybe eventually down the line this will give him the win. It is possible. If anyone is sort of looking not as fresh, it's Giron, but
Yeah,
he is still there. He is still hitting well.
he is.
Maybe
Yes, it's
there's like a long rally where I think he's not using his
yeah,
leg as much as
uh,
previously.
he definitely looks like he's the more wary of the two. You can see that in
Yeah.
his play.
Yeah, his footwork is just not as explosive as
Yeah,
before, and maybe this is where it starts mattering. Who knows?
mm, yeah. I mean, it's become a real physical battle now. It's
Yeah,
once you get to this stage and you're approaching 3 hours, it becomes a war of attrition.
and Tokyo as well, because
Yeah,
people say that it's like really humid
yeah,
and tough conditions to play tennis in generally.
yeah. And he needs a first serve, and yeah. I mean, this game is going to be tough to try to win. And Shelton has already been so aggressive on the right from the get go here, so he's got a chance now. Left 30. Let's see if Giron can be sharp enough to get out of this hole. I guess I would describe if I were to describe Giron in one word today, in the first two sets, he was just very sharp. You know, like that was the impressive thing is he just there was this relentlessness to him in the first two sets where he was just constantly never out of it. And he still keeps on going. These 2 points where he's kind of just going all out on the forehand, hitting through it, and not having to move as much, and he's getting the short-term reward for it. So 3 all, 30 all. Second serve. He went really big on that first serve, by the way, 218. That might be his fastest serve of the match. But he's having to defend on the second one. Shelton coming in, and Giron is still hanging in, but it's not enough. And Shelton getting up to net quickly, as he often does.
I
The break
wanna see the start on the speed serve of the. I mean, on the speed of that serve from Giron, because it
218.
seemed, yeah, it
218
seemed like half his usual pace, really.
and just as we were suspecting, Shelton gets the break.
Yeah, and this is also a clear physical deep for Giron now.
Yeah,
We'll see if that continues, but well, I don't think Shelton looks overly fresh either, but he definitely looks fresher than Giron,
but
of the two. And
you could definitely see the difference, like in age and also just the momentum.
yeah, I think that first serve as well was probably like below 100 miles or something an hour,
Yeah,
and yeah, the main, I guess, thing going for Giron in this match so far, well, one of the main things was that he was returning Shelton's serve really well, and like the serve advantage was really neutralized by that.
yeah,
But right now, it might not be the case anymore with Giron's legs going away a bit.
yeah. But again, like it's these type of matches that I mean, Ben was not even coming close to winning in the first 6, 7 months of the year, and now it's like such a big shift already in his experience, his patience, his smarter brand of tennis, and we're seeing, that this is a top five talent, no doubt about it. Is Runa and Becker actually happening? It is, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what does that mean? Because that I actually don't know. What does that mean for, Lars Christensen and the coaching team of Rune that was until today? Like Becker is just joining as a sort of second option, or
I think Lars is his main coach, right? Lars Christensen.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he's still there
Yeah.
with Becker.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Because he just recently, of course, announced getting back with him after splitting with Muratoglu. So it would
Yeah.
be a bit weird if
But,
2 weeks later he announced
I
Boris
think
Becker as his sole coach.
Lars is that consistent voice, I think, who knows his team the best.
Yeah, and of course, as usual, we don't actually know all that much about what's going on behind behind closed doors, let's say, inside the player's box. But it just seems like that sort of stability and someone who has
Right.
worked with him for so many years and achieved
Yeah.
ridiculous results. You can't really go wrong with him, at
Mm,
least for now. And yeah, if it's gonna work in some other way, then probably introduce someone else as like Boris Becker. Why not? And
yeah.
Muratoglu probably was fighting for control with Christensen, I would assume.
Yeah.
So
And
that's why they didn't sort of work with each other.
yeah. Moritomo is yeah. It's he gets the PR for sure.
Yeah, I think people who say that he's a terrible coach probably exaggerate a little bit, but
Probably, but
he's definitely really good at selling
very good.
himself.
He's a very good businessman. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
He's a really
absolutely.
good. He knows how to market himself. He knows how to like. He's a good consultant. He's a good businessman, and of course, he does have good enough tennis knowledge to where
Yeah, to
like
become a celebrity as a tennis coach, it is an achievement, I have to say. Like
yeah.
it's
And
it
in general, I'm pro the pro academy because I think the academy is really cool. Like
Yeah,
I think the academy
absolutely. I
has
mean, some
all
great
the
players coming out, the facilities, the other stuff. Like I saw someone, for example, complaining on Twitter this week that Layal is from the Muratoglu Academy, but I'm like, I mean, because of their dislike for Muratoglu. But I'm
yes,
like, why would that matter? I mean, Layal is probably not working with Muratoglu whatsoever. In fact, I know he's like, barely working with Muratoglu. I mean, he's working with Muratoglu just like any other player in the academy, which is they probably see him like once a month or something, which and yeah, he just has some
hired,
other
hired some
uses
really
the facilities and
he's hired some really good coaches and trainers at the academy
yeah,
itself that are like
yeah,
a lot of them are not known, but they're like you know very
exactly.
like they're really top notch in terms of
So the fact that Leal it comes from the Muratoglu Academy and has been working there for like 5 or 6 years,
yeah
that's great for him. And even if you dislike Muratoglu, that doesn't really matter. He's not actually working with Muratoglu himself,
yeah
at least not on a regular basis,
uh,
and maybe just once in a blue moon, really.
mm,
And yeah, the facilities, the other coaching staff. I mean, everyone says they're top class. And
yeah
anyway, 5-4. Giron has held, although he is clearly not moving that well
yeah
at the moment.
very very gingerly right now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's done well to hold, but it's yeah. I mean, he got more than 3 games, and he did make it quite a good contest in the first 3 games. Obviously, he had the 2 break points. Couldn't really do much there. Mm. But I think it was just really tough to see this set go any other way. I think, quite frankly, just given the
Yep.
shift that we saw and how the match played out.
Then
So,
again, Giron breaks in the second game. He goes 3 up,
yeah,
maybe.
but still, I think that service game at 2 love would have been challenging. I mean, if he does go up 3 love, and it's like, you know,
Yeah, If
And
he
maybe
if he does go up 3-love, then I'm not so confident about Shelton winning that one anymore.
yeah. And actually, there was one line that Shelton hit on one of the break points. Like he hit the line and it's very close to the line too. And if that's just a little bit wide, yeah, you're looking at Giron is up too low. There's some players, juniors, get free training at academies if they're really good. I don't know if they get free training, but they definitely get like good deals when it comes to like lodging and accommodations and uh,
I don't actually know that either. I
I
mean,
know
I
you
would assume that most of them pay some sort of money, right? But
yeah,
if you're like a superstar, maybe.
maybe, but like yeah, I think you still have to pay.
Cooper Crow was looking for Shelton's 11 aces, and he got it. He has 12. So probably a bet there, I'm assuming. So probably, I think our friend Cooper Crow won it. Feel bad for Giron. Yeah, yeah. Very possible that this is Giron's only chance at a 500. Of course, I don't want to write him off given how well he played this week, but certainly Tokyo has been the least sort of normal, the least regular ATP 500 this year in terms of the lineups.
Yeah,
I mean, in terms of the semi-final, quarter-final lineups, especially semis, right? Because yesterday, I think all underdogs won basically.
mhm.
Well, Paul Shelton, you could argue there was no underdog in there, but
Yeah, and
otherwise,
also like the race for Turin never really moved. Like we're basically where we were before the start of the week.
yeah.
In terms of the order,
Players between 7 and 13 all lost before the semis, I believe.
yeah. So I mean, like Hurkacz,
Um,
I was really wondering whether that was going to be a blow for his chances, but really not really because the players around him didn't gain much ground.
And that's a good point from Sean as well, that you also want to be around other strong juniors. So that's another benefit of being in an academy. So, like
Yeah,
having lots of great practice partners every anytime you want, basically. If we get the Saudi 1000, does that mean that AO is pushed back? We don't know that yet. Basically, the Saudi 1000 thing is still a bit of a rumor. Well, not a rumor. I would say a more than a rumor, but it's nothing finalized yet. It seems.
yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, what is not finalized as well is the 2025 early calendar. So uh, depends. Like if the AO is not going to be pushed back, then it would have to be first week of the year for the Saudi ATP 1000. But then the United Cup also gets hit. So yeah, it would really shake things up in the calendar. I'm sure that the Australian Open will not want to move, maybe more than 1 week at best. So
Yeah. Even
and once again, when Giron is almost out of this match, he suddenly comes up with the goods and can
yeah,
see
I
how
mean,
much more freely he swings.
well,
This last forehand, he basically just slapped it.
yeah, this
No
was
leg drive whatsoever, and
oh my goodness, yeah, this was all rest.
yeah, no legs, just wrist, just over sort of just correcting with the arm whatever he can.
Even the backhand pass that he hit him, he was just laser like just full wrist.
What the
Like,
hell is this next point? And
oh,
now we have a big celebration from Ben. I said that his second set one was sort of tentative, and maybe out of respect for Marcus, I don't know. But yeah, now we get a big one, and this maybe could be the moment when he won the match. We'll
yeah,
see.
I tell you, that one's definitely going in the highlights.
There were a
And
couple of
it was
volleys
always
that weren't too clean there, but it doesn't
one of the
matter.
hot shots. It's always really nice when one of the hot shots happen on a break point because you know they're going to show it. Oh yes, and he gets this one reward there. Backhand did not need to be that good because the serve did all the damage. And now we have a match point. A chance for Ben Shelton to be in his first ATP final. First at the 500 level. First at any level in the ATP. And he sealed it with an ace. Down the tee. And Ben Shelton. Box office
Yeah.
Benny. First at and
And that's my prediction finally in. Was it with you where I was talking about this yesterday? That at the beginning of the year I had this you
yes,
also did that for relevant tennis, right? Um
I did, yes.
you remember these? Yeah. We both went for Alicia Parks and did
I
some
did. Oh
outrageous
yeah,
predictions.
did you also go for Alicia? Okay, I don't feel so bad about
Yes,
it now
but
because
I said slam second week. That's what I said. Um and you said top 10, was it?
I think I said top 10 because I was just yeah, I was just on such a high after watching her win those 125 events, and I didn't realize that it was going to be.
I thought at Wimbledon or like the US Open, or if she got into the Australian Open, she would
Yeah,
have a very good shot at a slam second week. Top 10, I think that was too much for me. But after all, I think we understood the assignment because we
yeah.
went for bold
Because they
picks.
asked me for bold, so I wanted to go for something that's like really out there because
Yeah.
otherwise
Whereas
bad.
I felt like Juan Ignatius, for example, they were very
They were safe.
just
Yeah,
casual, yeah, safe. They actually won't it's likely that they actually might not work out, right? Because he had Nardi to break the top 100, I think
yeah.
Diana Schneider has broken the
This
top
is
70, so one
that
of them.
actually really annoys me because there's this one account on Twitter that always just retweets that relevant tennis blurb that I wrote every single time Parks loses, just to rub it in. Just keeps retweeting it, and I'm just like, come on.
Thankfully, I'm not one of his targets. Although I also made the wrong prediction about Parks, but my men's one was Shelton to make an ATP Tour final, which I sort of felt like I already had it because he actually didn't have a final, but he had the US Open semis and the Australian Open
Yeah,
quarters. So this
yeah,
is sort of equivalent.
I
But
think it's
now I actually landed it, and I think we should probably skip what your men's prediction
yes,
was.
yeah. I don't want to talk about that. Oh my goodness. But I don't think I was alone. I don't think I was alone in that. So
Um,
I will,
I actually understood. Well, I don't know. Well, with Parks, I understood the player choice, but top 10 was very bold.
yeah,
With Felix, I don't know if I was ever really behind it. Although after the indoor season, I guess, yeah, maybe.
yeah.
But anyway, Ben
I
Shelton beat
really thought
Marcos
that we
Giron.
had a in Australia. I thought
Huh?
I came out of the gates thinking,
You thought Australia, yeah, I understand. I don't know, maybe it just doesn't work like that. Maybe the indoor season just doesn't give you that much momentum because there's the whole break. I don't know. But
yes,
but of
it's
course for Felix there's been a number of other issues. Like it's not just that, naturally. Um yeah, and Ben Shelton beat Marcus Giron 6-7, 7-6, 6-2. Hey Max. Better late than never. Huh? And yeah, he was of course 6-7, 2-5 down. Marcus Giron, the biggest moment of his career. And now Ben is gonna play Karatsev or Mochizuki. Could be a rematch with Karatsev, right? The US Open third round? Third round,
hard.
I think.
Yes, yes. Last two sets were 6-2, 6-12 in that match. He
No,
really,
Max, there's no sound whatsoever outside the window. Actually, it's supposed to be. Yeah, I think it's just the lighting that does that. But it's supposed to be raining like the whole weekend,
yeah,
and it is right now. Yeah, Karatsev. What were you talking about? Karatsev rematch? Yes,
yeah.
Open.
From the U.S. Open, the last two sets 6-2, 6-12.
Yeah, that was surprising, right? I thought it was gonna be a much better clash.
I did, yeah.
Maybe now we'll get it.
Mm.
And yeah, anything else for Shelton? Really, as we said, like ATP finals, very unlikely at this point. Although with a big run towards the end of the season, and
Yeah,
ranking wise, does this put him in any position? Well,
maybe
he's
he
17th.
can get to like where Runa was at last year, where he
Hmm?
was like seventh. Where he's
Wasn't
like,
Rune? Well, he was an alternate into the finals, right?
Yeah, he was.
But that's because Rafa didn't play.
Yeah,
No,
after
Nadal was.
it's,
You can't
yeah,
remember.
it's like after Hurkacz, he was right after him. Like it was Hurkacz and Runa for the alternate.
But Rune actually edged him at the end, right? With the Paris title by like 10 points or something.
Oh yeah, no, he did in the race. Yeah, you're right.
Rune was the first alternate, I believe.
Yeah, it's just that he missed
Um,
points because of the challenger. Like after that, and then he was 11th.
yeah, you're right. He played the challenger in France somewhere.
Yeah.
Paul maybe or something like that. Yeah, maybe with Radu Albot.
But
And
right now, and if he wins this title, he'll be 14. So he'll move ahead of Chanov and Tiafoe.
so he has more, yeah, because he has more ATP, I mean Grand Slam points than Tiafoe.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Because they would be on the same tally actually. So Ben Shelton up to number 17 in the live rankings, and of course the next semi coming up in Tokyo is going to be Aslan Karatsev against Shintaro Mochizuki, which
Yes.
Vansh is not going to watch because he's
I, wa-
very tired.
do want to watch. I do want to watch Tsitsipas Feast in the morning. So that is the match I'm looking forward to. Are you going to be there for
That's a
that?
good one to wake up to. Probably, yeah.
Okay.
I
We should
don't
do it.
feel
Yeah, we
like
should do
there's.
it.
Yeah. It's a good one. Marta Republic will see. Well, Marta Republic will be quick, regardless if it's 2 sets or 3 sets. So
Yeah.
I think there's a high chance that Tsitsipas will start on time or more or less on time. So I guess we should cut off the stream here because Vansh is gonna have to go to bed soon,
Yes.
and he only has 7 hours to sleep to get ready before Tsitsipas fields. I
Yes.
have some hours to get a nap as well because I had to wake up for 7 a.m. Vansh made me, John made me. John forced me to because he has some
Yeah.
evidence of me. No, I don't know. Never mind. I'm just rambling around here. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this stream then, and we'll be back for a few city pass then.
Yes, we'll be back in a little over seven
Sure.
hours. So
And yeah, we'll see you guys then. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Our producer is sort of coming in and out. Is he gonna want to? Hello? Should I end the stream or will you be doing that? I'm not sure now. Okay, he's
okay,
here.
yeah,
So
okay.
he's going to end the stream then. And
Yeah, amen. And thank
see
you
you.
to comments. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. And you know the drill.